This document looks legally binding.
Ayo gamers, I'm back. It's been like a month and a bit, but we are here. Hopefully you've been having a good time and everything's been great. Yeah, I haven't streamed in a hot minute, but to be fair, I was gone for 3 weeks. So today, we're gonna do some absolute cinema. We're gonna go through all the pictures that I took, and we're gonna chat about them because I can do that, and it's fun. And I have a lot of stuff to send. But thank you so much for the resubscription, Stuart. Welcome to the 59-month gang. Missed in the entirety of last month, but we're still there, and I really, really appreciate it. I took tons and tons of pictures, so I'm very excited to go through all of them. And yo, 14-month gang, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Since last time I went was in 2023. I also managed to I put everything in an album, so you guys don't have to see all the screenshots of the manga I was reading during the trip, which is, you know, not anything that you probably need to worry about. So, I've wrote like 50 new D&D since I've been, hey, you know what? You've been productive. That's good. That's ultimately what matters most. I do have like a newfound energy for gaming and stuff that I took like a month break from doing that. It feels good. I've been playing Doom during my downtime this week, and then tomorrow I'm going to start back up with the gym and everything. I kind of just wanted to take this week as like a bit of a rest time, which is nice, and I think it was necessary. So hopefully, and I think Star wants to start streaming, so maybe we'll end up doing some stuff together. That'd be fun. Hopefully, we'll see. Been working on Game Jam all month, got like 4 hours left to polish it off. Oh, that's exciting! Game Jam stuff always seems so neat. I like, people that, like, participate in them, and usually, sometimes they end up being, like, really successful and become, like, actual games down the line I've seen people do. So that's really neat. Hopefully, it's not super stressful for you or anything. But yeah, this might take a hot minute, so we'll just get into it, and we're just gonna be chatting and chilling anyways, so that's okay. I took lots of food pictures, so I'll set everything to this mode. It's like slideshow mode. So on Air Canada, this was like one of the meals that we got. The stuff doesn't look amazing, but I think it was like ginger pork, and then there was cold soba noodles with sauce, edamame and corn, and like a brownie and stuff. Bangin' meal. Kind of nice that for like a 10, I think it was close to like 11 hours of a flight, we actually got like food, so that was really good. 3 meals. We got like, I think our flight was at 1:30 p.m. So I flew from here into Vancouver at like 9:30, so we were there at about 10, and then we had a couple hour layover. So, but it was kind of strange. The first thing they made food for us was like breakfast, and it was like, oh wait, no, actually this was the first thing that we got. So it was interesting, but it was good. I'm going to the beach in 10 days with 2 of my friends. I've upgraded from 1 to 2. Let's go, 2 friends. See, you got a lot done in the time that I've been gone. Problem here is I only have the water and then sleep. Listen, that's okay. 2 friends though, that's sick. Hopefully the beach is really, really nice. I got no beach time pretty much when I was gone. And we managed to actually see Mount Fuji on the plane this time. Last time it was too cloudy, but the pilot actually went over and things like, look out your window. Turn on the TV, doesn't matter what channel. But, so we got some nice pictures of Mount Fuji. There's a star longing in the distance for when we were about to land, but Mount Fuji looks really cool. Didn't go anywhere close to Fuji in general this time. Last time we did stay a couple days in Fuji itself, but I think it was too cloudy to even see the mountain when we were that close. Just like flying over random places and whatnot, but it goes to show that like Japan's really flat. Like the mountain ranges, they don't have like valleys and stuff like that. They're usually like pretty standard for a height, but yeah, everything very, very flat. So we spent the first 6 days. I want to say like we did 6. Yeah, we did about like 6 days in Osaka. So we flew into the Osaka airport instead of last time we flew into Haneda, I believe. So Osaka airport, and it's cool because it's on like a different island itself, so you have to take a train in to get into like Osaka, which is like kind of neat. So we stayed just for like 1 or technically 2 nights, this night and then 1 full day at a hotel pretty close to the airport, just because it was nice to like de-stress, move our bags and stuff around if we need to, and we're not instantly jumping onto like a train to go further into Osaka. Plus, I like my time to explore around, so smaller areas by the coast was really, really nice for that. Very pretty. I know Mother finally said I can bring 2 friends, even though I'm 19. But hey, you know what? 2 friends. 2 friends is huge. That's really, really nice. Hopefully you can build some like sandcastles or something, you know? And then I had to get pictures to send to my parents back for prices of like booze and stuff, because I don't know if it's interesting to anybody else, but the cost of stuff is really interesting to me to see. So I think from last time, everything is roughly the same price. The big hit for me this trip was the Strong Zeros, which are 9% drinks. It's like their version of like vodka. It's called shochu, which I think it's not nearly as like strong. I think it's about like 25% or something like that. A little bit sweet tasting. And they just mix it with like soda water and like fresh lemon juice. So you could compare it to like a vodka seltzer, but it actually tastes good and isn't like super sweet. I personally really, really like them. And you can buy a tall can of these was, I can zoom in. A tall can of these was 215 yen, so about like $2.15 Canadian. The nice thing is the yen Canada ratio is like 1-to-1. We're going to tide pooling is so sick. I'm not bringing the same person I've been bringing for 5 years in a row. Tide pooling is awesome. I love being able to touch all the squishy stuff. Fortunately, there's nowhere around me to do any of that, but I'm jealous. I'd love to do that. But yeah, Strong Zero, great. Only know it from that one bizarre anime. Wait, actually, I think I would assume Strong Zero shows up in a lot of stuff, but yeah, price-wise, dirt cheap, like really, really cheap. And they come in a bunch of different flavors. And then they have like the hot section. So all these are like hot. They're normally cold drinks, but they have sections where this is like a heated area, so you can grab hot things. Really, really neat. There's a better look at them. I was a big fan of, I don't think they had any of the ones here, but they're pretty darn good, I have to say. There's me with my Pocari Sweat. Pocari Sweat it's like neutral flavored Gatorade, if I could try and describe it. Super good. I love it. I was drinking like several like liters of that every single day, which probably isn't good because I know there's sugar in it, but who cares? Treat yourself. It's vacation. And then this was just, I went for a little walk just outside. So we were in Rinkutown Station. They had like a nice little like Ferris wheel, just short little walk, because I was always walking. I was hitting on average about like 17 to 20,000 steps a day, which is a lot. I'm pretty used to like 8 to 10, so nearly doubling that most of the time was like pretty solid. Do you know what I forgot to do? I was like, man, it's dark. There, that's way better. I was like, man, it's really hard. Why am I having a hard time even seeing my face? Forgot I have a ring light, so we got that bad boy going. Either going to find death or not death, because it's a Florida beach. Ooh, hey, well that gives you like access to like hopefully a bunch of different animals. A cool aesthetic photo of the 7-Eleven with a Ferris wheel in the background. I'm gonna be given like, assuming people don't know anything about Japan, convenience stores there's 3 main convenience stores. You've got 7-Eleven, you got Family Mart, and you got Lawson. They all have like roughly the same stuff, but maybe slightly different. 7-Elevens don't have Slurpees here, which I kind of miss, but it's probably a good thing that I didn't. Daisuke asked what happened to the lighting the little first second of the stream. Even when I was configuring the camera stuff to get the settings like proper, I was like, something seems off about this. Maybe it's just because it's like light outside and the lighting is messed up, and I'm like, oh wait. Ring camera. It makes a huge difference, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, 7-Elevens everywhere. You get convenience stores roughly every like 100 meters. You can walk like 3 or 4 minutes in any direction and you'll come across a convenience store. I also, you graduated high school? Congrats! That's huge. Where me and my friends plan to go to the beach because all we were in the back. That's super, super exciting. And yo, welcome Star. 54-month gang. Let's go. Love to see it. Yeah, everyone's graduating. Star graduates in like 4 days. Huge moment. Everybody's doing school stuff. It's about that time of the year, so. And then I also pictures of like hard liquor. You can get yourself 7-Eleven brand shochu. How much? 1.8 liters of 25% alcohol for $10 Canadian. I'm not going to be able to do the US conversion very well because I don't know it super well, but I'm assuming this is about like $7 USD or something for that. I gotta go get my haircut tomorrow in time for my award ceremony next week. Hell yeah, love to see it. I need to get my hair redone. I'm like super overdue, but I'm not really minding it too much. But I should get it cut in like style before Star's graduation so I too can look good, you know? And then actual some small liquor prices. Sorry, I promise you there's not too much stuff for prices, but for the first bit I had to send it to my parents. So you can get a bottle of soju for $3.50 Canadian. Bottom number is including the tax. I think it's like 10% tax on everything. Most places have it so that it's like a nice round number, but convenience stores and stuff usually get into the cents. Also, craft cool, I never even noticed this. But yeah, really, really cheap soju. Had no soju during the trip whatsoever. But a lot of this other stuff is like pretty much the same price. Like 200 mils for a couple bucks. Not too bad. But had to see the variety, you know? Somehow graduated with honors and distinction. Don't know how. It's because you're smart. Don't underestimate yourself. You put in the work, put in the hours to take what's ours. Dwayne The Rock Johnson would be proud. And then I had to... The one thing I didn't think about until the day before I left was that they don't really use 3-prong outlets, so they don't have like a ground. So everything is 2-prong, which isn't a big deal for like anything that I had, except this time I was bringing a laptop so I could watch anime and other shows. So I had to go and buy an adapter for a 3-prong outlet. So I got to go on like a little adventure when it was raining. Out of the entire trip, I think it rained like 2 days, and this was one of them, which was great because it was just the kind of getting used to jet lag and stuff like that. But there was a whole like outlet mall next to it. We had a beach. This really long bridge goes right all the way out to the airport, so it's long. It's like way out in the distance there is where the airport was. And this one was called Marble Beach in Iwazumisano? Maybe that's the name? Instead of like sand, it was all like white rocks and stuff. Really, really pretty. Not super fun to walk on. No actual sand beaches were found on this trip, unfortunately. But it was really pretty. Cool vending machines. I got like no vending machine pictures. I didn't take nearly as many like building and like street pictures and stuff as I would have compared to the first trip, because the first one was all geography related, so I kind of needed to take a lot of pictures. But monster cans were smaller because they have restrictions on caffeine in drinks and stuff there, so, but not on booze. They don't care if it's 9% for $1 or not. Yeah, Uzimisano. And I got some really cool pictures in front of the like mirror balls that they have, which listen, these are aesthetic as heck. They look awesome. I did almost trip on mud there though, so I don't know why they decided that Expo Center, which is half a barn, was great. Interesting choice, but hey, it worked. Hopefully you didn't get all like dirty and stuff like that though, if it's like in a barn. And I got to see wave breakers. I saw like no wave breakers last time. I think these are some of the coolest looking things. I don't know why I like them so much, but they're really, really neat. They're also massive. Huge, huge, huge. And then this was the outlet mall that was like pretty close to our hotel. Lots of like American brands and stuff. But there was an obscene amount of stores. Like there is so many. And it was like several floors tall too. Didn't do any shopping there. I don't think I did like... Honestly, really didn't do like too much shopping. I'm pretty sure like 50% of the trip was looking at secondhand stores for decently priced figurines, which is kind of funny. I got a picture of the McDonald's menu in case you wanted to know how much McDonald's was and what their options were. Big hits were the Samurai Mac. Samurai Mac, insanely good. And the like teriyaki chicken burger was really, really good. Nothing like too exciting. You can only get hot coffees. Oh, okay. Last time, medium was the largest size you could get for a hot coffee. So I guess something changed. But Samurai Mac, bussin'. When you're kind of just like feeling something but not sure, Samurai Mac always. I didn't, but they also had policemen wand us down for really. Wow. Okay, I guess you gotta be careful of the Florida people. And they have like value menu items for like $1.90, which was like insanely good pancakes. So combo wise, you get a full combo for like double Big Mac for $7.50, which is like great. If you're curious about how to convert this to like, or how we did it, like convert it to Canadian. It's roughly you just divide it by 100. So 750 is $7.50, etc. It took a little bit to get used to because like 1,000 is 10 and then 10,000 is 100. But some Earthbound related gift cards, which were awesome. Weird increments for like numbers here though. Oh, I forgot to tell you, but yesterday at the mall someone asked what we were looking for and I said grad dresses. Oh. Looking for grad dresses? I guess, wait, do you have... I guess you don't necessarily need one. They were like, oh, what school are you graduating from? She's a young lady. Oh my gosh. Did you think you were graduating high school? Little cutie. And then I got some pictures of JoJo merch. Tier you the biggest school? Yeah, I got some pictures of the JoJo Gashapon stuff because currently they had like only Golden Wind stuff really going on. And they are ugly. Now that I'm thinking back on it, I kind of wish that I went for a Pesci, because he's goofy, and he also is like, here are stands, and then it's like, actually, here's Pesci with Beach Boy, but like Moody Blues and Babyface are like kind of really ugly. They also had some cute Katamari ones. I think they renovated Old Main, I'm pretty sure, like just when I was finishing up, so they like changed up. I think they have basically renovated most of the buildings on campus. Science building was still in the process of getting completed when I graduated last year. But I think the arts and education building is still like hella old. I don't know, maybe something's been done with that one. They've been doing a lot of construction on campus, because when I go to the gym I can see. Oh, you're not in Florida, but the beach is. Oh, gotcha. Oh, god. Okay. They didn't find my phone because I'm not stupid. Put it in your hat. Smart. Big brain. And then I got ID'd at the liquor store and he was like, oh, my bad. There's something in the water. Star got the youthful glow from traveling for 21. There you go. That's true. It must be all the stress leaving from you getting all your work and stuff done. That's gotta feel so good being back for the past week and not having to do like anything. But yeah, they had miso, which was one of my favorites. I can't remember what the mushroom guy's name was, but I liked him. Some sleeping Pokemon, lots of Pokemon ones, and some Mario Wonder. These were, they had Earthbound ones, and I did Gasha, and I got 3 characters that I just did not want. I got super unlucky. I simply did not want, or I wanted Jeff Ness or Mr. Saturn, and like, I don't mind these guys, but I would have been happier with them. Double pull Paula. Can't believe it. Oh, Chikawa was massive over there. I don't know what the deal is with Chikawa. It just like randomly started popping up on my Twitter feed, and now it's like huge. But see, I got that bad boy. There's Kamen Rider. There is Kamen Rider, baby, and Ultraman. It's really funny how like non-existent Kamen Rider and Ultraman are over here, but it's everywhere there. Animal Crossing Lego sets. All of this stuff is like pretty much available, but I took pictures of it anyways because I was curious if the price difference for things. They did have the giant Deku tree Lego thing that was like 20% off, but it was still like 300 something bucks. Lego is expensive, not something I could get into these days. But the first secondhand store that I went to just so happened to have JoJo figures. Rohan was 185 bucks. Compared to these two boys were, Josuke was $80. Okuyasu was $50. That was the cheapest I saw Okuyasu the entire trip. We ended on our way back when we were gonna head to the airport, like to head home. Considered stopping to get Okuyasu, but also the box was like this big, like it was really big, and I'm like, I didn't want to have to try and put my stuff away. Or like reorganize things in my bag to like get them to fit, so. But not a whole lot of merch for Okuyasu, unfortunately. And then there's also just little baby Koichi. I don't know why Koichi's face looks like that. It's not what he looks like at all. And then they got Iggy. Lots and lots of Iggy related stuff too. Want to meet on twice because I have to. Oh, really? Man, they didn't allow you to have your phone? That's crazy. Man, yeah, heels do seem hella uncomfortable. And then they had a little craft beer bar on the rooftop of the hotel we were staying at that you could only get into if you're a guest of the hotel. And it was pretty fancy. It was like super pretty looking. I got 3 beers. You guys probably don't care, but it's aesthetic looking, cool pictures. It looks neat. These were the ones that I had. And then this is at Town. I didn't bother to remove a bunch of like the duplicate photos of me, so we gotta scroll through all these pictures of me looking like a little goof in Japan, mind you. In Japan, in front of the big wheel. I didn't go on, too scared of heights. But me, look at, I'm a little goof. Eyes closed, it was obscenely bright. No sunglasses on, raw dogging it straight. And then there was a little reptile store, little baby turtles. Lots of little baby turtles. And there was even a little chameleon. I don't think I've ever seen a chameleon in person. They just look like that. They're really cute though. I don't think I could ever have like a reptile. There's another little like chameleon. But this one looks like, that's like Kecleon. This one, less so. And then there was a big turtle just chilling on the ground. The owner of the store, I'm assuming it was the owner, was just like, when we came in, was just sitting there like petting him. Just cute. Turtles are adorable. John Manager, that's the Pope right there. That's like in Elden Ring, that's royalty. Some people got the phones taken, only know this because at the end I had to go with my friend to get her phone. Wow, that's crazy. That's a tortoise? Are tortoises, are all tortoises turtles? But not all turtles are tortoises? But that's a big beefy boy. He's huge. Really cute though. Then they had Megalovania. Undertale mentioned at the, what's the name of the drumming game? I basically only played like one rhythm game the entire time. And then here's some dorky pictures of me with the wave breakers. It goes to show how big they are, or how small I am. Depends on how you look at it. All tortoises are technically, okay. Yeah, taiko drumming, thank you. I was really excited to get pictures in front of the wave breakers, because I like them. But yeah, they're really big, like, you know, I'm like 6 foot, so like, they're big. No, they're like 5'8". They're like slightly taller than me, so like, they're pretty big. Some more dorky pictures. I'm posing for to a T. Shout out to Keita Takahashi. He should have hired me for advertising. So, this is all just like exploring right by where, like, close to our hotel was. It was just like slightly over that way. But really, really pretty areas. People like to go fishing like anywhere that they can. Like, I think this dude was fishing, but I couldn't really find out where the water came in from over here. But it was just like, the views are gorgeous. And then I got the because we were just walking around because check-in for our next hotel was like 3. So we had to take the train into Osaka. And then that night, I had the Detective Conan meal. Because as always, there's some Detective Conan thing going on. They had a new movie. So it was the Gohan burger for Detective Conan. They look like hash browns. It's rice. So it was like 2 kind of like rice buns, but they weren't like crispy. They were like kind of chewy and soft. It was strange, but they tasted great. And then it was like a piece of like kind of like chicken in the middle. And then they had some like cheese sort of sauce and like cabbage. It was very strange, but tasted awesome. I haven't seen anything for Detective Conan, but last time we were there was also a Detective Conan movie out, so it's just like, it's always going. Just funky looking building. Funky streets. It's streets, but in Japan. Lots and lots of the cables above head, which are really neat to look at. Dotonbori. We were like a 5-minute walk from Dotonbori. It was actually longer to wait for the red lights, because the lights over there are super long for some reason. I guess, well, people have to drive, so it makes sense. But it was just like Yakuza 0, just like the game. The actual better Dotonbori views the other way, but it's crazy busy. And then I went to Don Quixote. The very first things that I saw in Japan were Fist of the North Star related. There was a whiskey store, and they had a little figure of Ken just like chilling in there, and that was the first thing I saw. So Fist of the North Star stuff, because I finished reading on the plane. Here's more of Dotonbori. Really, really, really nice place. Very tourist busy, which isn't surprising. I know it's like kind of just that way. But it's pretty. I got to see the Glyco Man. I got to see Big Crab, Octopus, big beer ads. But yeah, they had the little tours and stuff going on. You can see how busy the bridge was with all these people, because it's a pretty wide bridge too. And then Star got some pictures of me with I got the dripped out in front of Dotonbori so I could be the Glyco Man. I don't even know what he's actually for, you know? But it's a brand, and he's just always been there. It's like the staple. So dressed up, I think it was pretty hot that day. I got my linen pants, brand new shoes. Oh, he's just an ad that became famous. Oh, okay. And then actual, like, Dotonbori is, like, a big part of it is all, like, enclosed, so it's all ceiling cover here, which is pretty nice. But yeah, it's really busy. Mostly just filled with, like, American kind of stores. Like, nothing super unique. You get Lush, Pandora, they had a Zara, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then they did have a store with prints that not all of them were like, what are they? Not reworks. Like, I guess like prints of, but they had some originals. These were just a bunch of the JoJo ones that I saw that I thought were like really, really cool, but they're all like pretty expensive. Dead Man's Questions. I saw a surprising amount of Dead Man's Questions stuff, which is like never ever talked about over here by Western JoJo fans. Big fan of Dead Man's Questions. Yeah, this one was, okay, yeah, reproduction. That's the word I was looking for. I was like, yo, what is poppin', homie? 25 months for the year 2025. You love to see it. I really, really appreciate it. Welcome back. The trip went excellent. Nobody died, and I had a great time. Star and I were 3 weeks every single day. Didn't get tired of each other. Great times. But yeah, price-wise, like $275. Extremely expensive for some of this stuff. I don't think this store had any, like, original cells, but we went to one later on that did, which was really, really neat. Some cool Fist of the North Star stuff. Big fan. This is a replica. And then, like, Ava-related stuff. Osaka Pokemon Center. This one was surprisingly, like, not that exciting. I didn't get any pictures inside the Nintendo store. Nothing really new for the Nintendo store. Like, no ads for the Switch 2 or anything, which was, like, kind of surprising. I did keep pictures of you in this album, Star, so I can spend 5 minutes talking about you on every single one of them. This one didn't have, like, any of the Pokemon I cared for, so I was like, poop. It was also crazy busy. Down below we had... This was just, I think, just regular... It was a pork cutlet curry. Absolutely banging. I can't remember what Star had. I don't know if it was, like, beef curry or not. I ate so much curry and so much ramen on that trip. I know it's, like, the stereotypical, like, whatever food, but man, it's so good. I could never get tired of it. And also, it was cheap. So, they also had, like, a Dark Souls collab store, which was insane. I didn't expect that, so that was a huge surprise getting see my boy, I don't know if it was Siegward or Siegmeyer, but they had merch for, like, every single game. I got the Arma Melania. They had Artorias. They had, like, the rings as replicas, and they're, like, really pretty. They even have Grave Lord Nito merch. I'm not wearing it right now, but I did buy a sweater because I've never seen Grave Lord Nito merch anywhere. So now I've got official merch of myself, which is cool. Some Elden Ring stuff. I don't remember. Oh, this is Bloodborne. Ah, that makes sense. But yeah, the bunch of like Elden Ring and whatnot. The Chloranthy ring, which is banging. We love to see it. And then one of the Bandai Namco kind of stores. I didn't see really much of these guys actually available. Mostly I saw Doppio, Formaggio, and Pesci, and the Man in the Mirror guy, but like no Giacchio. I didn't see any figures for him. And a couple for Prosciutto, but Prosciutto was way more expensive than his brother. Usually like 2 or 3 times more, which is kind of funny. But not too much for like the main cast. They just had pictures here. Nothing was actually like for sale. Ultraman store. Got pictures with Ultraman 2 times. Hitting that Ultra Wave, which is sick as heck. Looking like a goof, but we love it. Also Ghibli store. Ghibli stores are always really, really nice. They all have like really cool decorations. And they have everything. Merch is all organized by where it's from, which is great because it's not just like piles of stuff. No Joshua this time, or maybe later on. But hanging out with No Face, really cute. But the lighting, worst lighting possible, just like direct down lighting so you couldn't really get any like good pictures. Lego store had a cool thing of Dotonbori. Cute as heck. More Dotonbori. Lots of Dotonbori. We were there for like 5 days, so you're going to see a lot of it. Everything looked way cooler at nighttime. There's the Dotonbori sign. Couldn't find Majima, unfortunately. I looked really, really hard for him. Couldn't find him. And then there it is at nighttime. I did a lot of nighttime wandering around by myself. We mostly stayed at these like Appa hotels. They're pretty small, but like price-wise, they're always like relatively cheap compared to other hotels. Pretty much most of the ones that we stayed at had like an onsen on one of the floors, laundry. The one specifically in Osaka we stayed at had a 7-Eleven on the 4th floor, so you could just take the elevator down and stop at 7-Eleven in like your yukata or whatever you wanted. Super convenient, really nice. It was kind of small, but like it was nice. So as far as hotels go, they're pretty sick. Just nighttime walking around. I think, yeah, got Octopus Cafe Dining. Got the Mr. Krabs. The expo was also going on, so I think that also was why Osaka just in general was like busy as heck. H&M. Gotta do all my shopping at Japanese H&M. Is that my Discord or yours? I think it's mine. Yeah, it is mine. Oh, wait. Yeah, it is mine. It shouldn't be doing that, though. Give me a sec. It shouldn't actually be making noises because I have stream mode on. Or I should. Enable streamer mode. Okay, there we go. It's weird because it automatically is supposed to enable if I have OBS or XSplit opening. But for whatever reason, it says that I'm on OBS. Okay, anyways, I got that fixed. We're fine. Let me just swap back. Because I'm so used to not hearing it, so I wasn't even thinking about it. So sorry about that, guys. Okay. But yeah, we got the crabs. Got people taking pictures. More... See, this gives a good idea of how busy the bridge was. Definitely busier at night. I was checking my notes. Sorry, guys. Discord did not want... or wanted to be a big annoyance. So thank you for letting me know earlier instead of having to go through that. One of my friends is like troubleshooting their PC at the moment because they're trying to play The Last of Us and it keeps crashing. So lots of notifications because of that. And then that night, we went to this was night 2 or technically night 3, but night 2 in the different hotel. We went to a JoJo bar because theme bars are a huge thing in Japan, which is awesome because where else can you go to like theme bars and stuff like that here? This dude had figures of like literally everything. He gave us like an English menu for food. I'm following him on Instagram and he's posting he like posts little meals that he makes all the time so you can try them as a customer. But just like I kind of regret not actually getting the food because I thought it would be like whatever bar food, but looking at the Instagram and stuff later was like, oh no, this dude actually makes like meals. So lots of different kinds of stuff. But this was probably the best JoJo bar that we went to, and it was the first one. Owner didn't really speak much for English, but did some Google Translate and stuff for us, and was really, really nice. He was also the giant Grateful Dead in the background. Super cool. I don't know. I'm assuming it's not like official merch or anything, but it's neat. So I got some pictures of me because a dude brought me the Kira statue. Because I gotta be wearing the Kira outfit when I go to JoJo bars. I gotta be doing it. But you could tell the dude was super passionate about what he did, and it was really, really nice. It was like a dream. Even got the Johnny and the little like outfits. Just bunch of like just a crazy amount of stuff. There's my I got the Yoshikage Kira because he didn't have like a set menu necessarily of drinks you could order, but he'd make you a drink based on like your favorite character, which was really, really neat. So I don't exactly know what this was, but it was layered, and I remember it was pretty good. None of the drinks that I had were bad. They even had brown hair or black hair Giorno, which shows up for like one panel in the manga and like very, very briefly in the anime. So that was kind of neat. Little Mountain Tim there too. It's just seeing all the figures that this dude owned. He's had to have spent like $1 bajillion. Oh, I didn't even notice. I managed to pick up this figure over here. But got some funky pictures. Really, really happy. Even like set up little lights and stuff. And then he had his original copy of Shonen Jump from 1987 that had the original volume of JoJo on it. Super neat. And he was like, showing off like all the different like stuff that he had, because he had Coda, the guy who did Buddy Stream and Fighting Gold, came to his bar and like played the guitar and like played the songs for him live. He had a couple people from like I don't know if he had any I can't remember if he had voice actors or not show up, but he had some of the music people show up like to his bar at some points, and he had tons of pictures. He was super happy about it. Really, really neat. Also, I spent so long trying to find one of these. I wanted a Little Baby Harvest so bad. I found 2 of them, and they were both $60. I'm like, I'm not spending $60. I like Harvest, but not that much. But it's so cute. I love it. And then Star got the Josuke. I don't think I got any pictures of it, though. We got the Kira's fingernails as a snack, and they were just little, like, Rice Crispy things. If you get, like, Indian, like, snack packs or whatever, they're in it. I think they were, like, not spicy or anything, but they were, like, garlic flavor. They're really good. Just some funky merch. Bad Company soldiers in a box. It was just filled with toy soldiers. Little, yeah, oh yeah, little merch. Just other little things, because for dressing up, he was like showing me a bunch of like Kira related stuff, which was really nice. Oh, very, very few Steel Ball Run statues, but these 2 are so sick. Like, for it coming out soon and just getting announced, I'm surprised they saw so little Steel Ball Run. Lots of part 5 and 4 stuff. And like cool Vanilla Ice things. I think this was just like a popcorn bucket. There was tons of stuff over here as well. Like, it really was just like every single inch of this place was like covered with JoJo related things. And he had karaoke machine and stuff like that. I'm assuming he has like friends that come and hang out with him here. But it was also like a really small bar. And smoking was allowed, but we were the only ones there. No smoking was happening, which was great, because I don't like smoke. I simply do not smoke. But, yeah, huge, like, the different colored Zippelis. They got a soft and wet over there. Just, there's an obscene amount of stuff. Cool paintings in the back, even, like, the fancy statues, too. Wasn't too much for JoJolian, but there was a little bit. Got the Yebisu beers that Araki did the art for. The entire, like, Joestar family line, mostly wearing white. I wish I could have found, like, Killer Queen and Kira together. That would have been awesome. And then the little Johnny with the tusk was really cute. Stone Free I found Stone Free figures all over the place. Like, part 6 I think is popular, but just, like, not Stone Free or Hermes. I think they were like the 2 characters that weren't super big. Just a random store with an Ava unit in front of it. Then we went to another one. Another JoJo bar. We hit 2 JoJo bars in one night. And they were both like really, really close to each other too. But I got the Kira Yoshikage as well. And there was a Keicho figure. Cool little, having to explain some of this like character stuff to Star, because up to this point, we had only watched part 1 and a little bit of part 4. But we managed to finish part 4 and part 1 during this trip, which was cool. The order-wise, who cares? Part 4, it's my favorite part, so that's why we watched it. But Funny Valentine figure, super cool. This one just as, like, packed with things. All these different covers. This one had Heritage for the Future. You could play Heritage for the Future, which was really neat. We didn't, because we were sitting across, like, too far away from it. But I think that would have been really fun to be able to, like, actually try. Tons and tons of stuff, like, all over the place. Like, even on the ceiling. You can just tell, like, the people are big, big fans, which was really nice. This one had some other people in it, and the owner was just, like, talking to them. So it was not as, like, of a personable thing. Not that I expected it to be. But the first part being, like, so personable, just chatting with the owner and everything, and he was super passionate, was great way to start off the night. Lots of JoJo related stuff on this trip, because didn't know anything about it last time, so I'm like, now I have stuff to go look for. And then I really liked they had the, I didn't quite save it, but they had the scene in part 6 with Astro Boy, Mazinger Z, and Tetsujin number 26 flying through the sky when it's the Bohemian Rhapsody arc, and they had the little scene of that here, which is really cute. Then my little Kira drink. Gave me a little Kira to hang out with my drink, which was awesome. I did at least manage to find this one at some store, but it was like $200, and I kind of am not willing to spend that much on a figure. Even if it's really cool, that's a bit much, unless it's like something crazy. Lots of risotto, Josuke being a little bit fruity with it. And then some more Dead Man's Questions related stuff. It was shocking to me, the Rokakaka fruit, they actually just had like a thing of it, which was crazy. But I don't see too much for part 6 related or not part 6, part 8 related figures. No JoJo Lands figures at all. But I think it's a little bit too new for that to be a thing. So soon enough, I bet we'll probably get some. And then the first bar we went to had, that was our bill was to the Stardust Crusaders. I'm keeping that thing forever. I have it right here. Because I just thought it was really cute. And when we were leaving the bar, the dude was like, "Arrivederci." And I was like, "Yeah." So that was really nice. Oh, and then next day, Star had reserved a spot at the Full Metal Alchemist cafe. So I was just taking pictures of the menu and stuff beforehand. Oh, there we go. I actually did put in the album here, the little scene of them flying. So that was really, really cute. Very, very oddly specific, but I'm like, wait a second. I know this. And then just walking around. Oh, no, I was like, this is Rinku Town again. No, this is Osaka, because we're going to go check out the aquarium. We were like one island away from the expo happening. So taking the train was like super, super busy. Aquarium, nice as heck. There's going to be a lot of animals here. But I'm going to take some water first. Deltarune, 4 days. 4 days till Deltarune. I will be streaming it. Probably. I've streamed all the other ones, so maybe. Perchance. And I can just say perchance. Trying to get pictures of the otters when they're moving around so much was like really, really hard. There was a bunch of like school kids and like school tours happening, so we kind of went through it a little bit fast because there was just so many. Some cute little like, I can't remember what animal that is. Cute as heck though. Giant arowanas. They're kind of like creepy, but they're very serpent-like, but they're super, super cool. This aquarium had some like really funky fish going around. Some little rays, a cichlid, penguins. We love them penguins. Just some bright, nice, colorful fish. Trying to like actually have the colors pop out was kind of hard because it was like blue lighting in the background of everything, or in some of these. Trying to get pictures of the seals, but they kept moving around way too much. Cool cuttlefish in the cuttlefish section. This was a rotating one. Last time it was a different fish that I can't quite remember, but this specific area had different things. And then they got whale sharks and manta rays. Big whale sharks and big manta rays. They had big man. Super, super cool. I've never seen, it looks like really small from like this angle or whatever, but it's like, the tank was huge. You basically walk around the entire aquarium in like a kind of spiral going down fashion, and it's all, this entire thing is like centered in the middle. So, big whale sharks. I think those were like cuttlefish eggs. And I got an octopus. Heck yeah, big rays. I just like looking at all the rays. I thought they were really, really neat. And this one's coming right at you. Little sea pancakes, little flaps. I just like the funky little faces. And then they're ugly sunfish. My mom was trying to describe what a sunfish was, and she's like, it's like if you took a fish and then you cut it in the middle, removed that part, and then slapped it back together. And I'm like, that is what a sunfish is. They don't do nothing at all. Some spotted garden eels, are they garden eels? I think they are. They just hang out. Also, this song I think is gonna play for like 5 minutes, so I need to skip it. Sorry, I don't want to hear 5 minutes of unused Dogtroid music. But yeah, spotted eels, star in the background, spotted eels. Eel, spotted, that's a star actually. Little clownfish, little seahorses, some krill. I think that's krill. Nah, maybe it's not krill. They're like little shrimps. Shrimp, prawn, lobster dudes. Love them, they're cute. Oh, these were dolphins. Really hard to get good pictures of them because they were also like moving all over the place. Shark, turtle stuck, pufferfish, remora, kind of nasty. They're just like attached to the side of the tank. More rays, more rays. Where's the guitar fish? I think that's a guitar fish. I was trying to get good pictures of the guitar fish because I think they look really, really neat. I'm kind of just skipping through because it's mostly just animal pictures. I don't really need to say a whole lot. Except for the crabs. Look at these bad boys. Big, big, big crabs. Lots of nurse sharks. The whale shark drink that Star got. It was like, the blue part was like blue ramune flavored and like kind of like fizzy. And it was in like blue Calpis soda. And so that was pretty good. Star got the regular eel hot dog. I got the fiery eel hot dog. 1 foot long with the whale shark latte. Cool as heck. For $8 or $7.90. 790 yen. Big hot dog with jalapenos on it. And you know what? It was good. It was Peaks Grand. Because it wasn't like... It was less of like a hot dog flavor than like a regular hot dog is. It tasted closer to like a sausage. So it was pretty good. But foot long hot dog, it doesn't beat Costco prices. But for like an aquarium food item that's like themed, I'd say like $8 is pretty good. So hot dog, big boat. This is showing how like Universal Studios was up like right up here. We were here, and then the expo was being held like right here. So this whole area was just like filled with stuff. Me throwing hands with the crabs. But yeah, you can see like how blue the lighting is for a lot of this stuff. Oh, there's a guitar fish. Yeah, these things are weird because they're sharks, but like also rays at the same time. A little bit of both. Sweet baby rays. Then they had the whole jellyfish like section. All of these are little jellyfish. They're not actually like lights. Lots and lots of jellyfish. Jellyfish are so pretty. I don't want to like touch one or like be in the vicinity in the water of one, but like there's so many different ones and they're so cute. Like look at these little guys. They're like all squishy. Just really pretty. Pikmin did a good job at making them look like gorgeous. It's got some, yeah, the moon jellies especially, because like they had lights that would kind of like go around them. Super neat. Seal. Baby seal. But this aquarium had like everything. Seals, penguins, dolphins, whale sharks. No actual whales. I don't think that legally you can do that, but I know animal stuff is a little bit different in Japan. So I've heard like some zoos and aquariums are like not good. But chillin' seal with girl in the background. I too am mesmerized by the sight of the seal, just Jay chillin'. It's a good face though, actually. Oh, he's hanging. Microplastics again. Had to remake the picture from last time. And then the penguins with egg. With egg. Look at that bad boy. They're stinky. The like penguins specifically were stinky. Otters ended up being kind of stinky, but that's a little bit later. So these guys are funky looking. Because they've got like, that's their mouth. And I don't know what the deal is. They just like, something about them seems strange. But they're cool. A little hermit crab. A little more little hermit crabs. Big fan of hermit crabs in the side eye. Ah, don't eat the microplastic star. No! No! And then picture in front of the, because last time, I don't think it said Osaka Aquarium Kaiyukan. I think it just said Kaiyukan. So, they had that fixed up. Me once again getting ready to throw hands with the crabs. I had my fit on that day. And then we went to a bug store and they had beetles. Call me Jobin Higashikata. I've been chilling with those beetles. And I just love that they feed them just like yellow like slime. That's what they feed them. Just like yellow slime. And those beetles eat that stuff up. They love that yellow slime. $200 Hercules beetle. I got pincer, and I got to hang out with the beetle. I regretted from last time we went to the trip. We stopped in this store and I didn't get pictures, but we paid like the $6 or whatever, and I got to hold him, and I got to hang out with the big beetle. And he was a big one. He was probably the same one from last time. Love this guy. Pogging openly. I was so happy to hang out with him. What a cutie. My sister was like, I wouldn't be able to do that. I even got a little sticker just for him. Very, very happy. And then there was a little Gundam GQ pop-up. So like I think that's the name of the new Gundam, GQ. Lots and lots of Gundam GQ stuff. Kamen Rider, that's me chilling with Kamen Rider Kuga. Not the cool Kamen Rider, which is that one back there. Kamen Rider Ichigo, Takeshi Hongo, baby, that's where it's at. But yeah, the Tamashii Nation stuff, really, really nice figures. Really expensive though. So can't really warrant wanting to buy a lot of the stuff. Godzilla store. Every single Godzilla store had a different Godzilla. And I think I ended up checking out like 4 or 5 of them. So this was the Godzilla -1, which last time hadn't come out. So there's more Godzilla -1 kind of merch. I love that funky fella. Big Gundam. And then we got to check out the Fountain Boy, baby. Had to do the pilgrimage for the all the JoJo stuff, which Araki himself says these are the strongest stands, which I don't know if I'd necessarily believe that. I don't know if I'd be putting Hierophant Green and Stone Free in like the same category as like D4C and like Tusk and stuff like that. There are older ladies watching us take these pictures and laughing. Oh, I didn't even know that. Waiting to take pictures of it too. Listen, it was gorgeous. It was, because this is like, it's like a giant ball. Imagine you take like a giant target ball, paint it black, hollow it out, put Araki in it. You know? You fool. Nobody can deflect the Emerald Splash. That is a good point. Nobody but me and everybody else that can deflect it. But nobody, but everybody. You know? Allah has guided his pilgrimage to Fountain Boy Oshama. But we checked it out. It is really neat, and I'm glad we got to see it when it was like a little bit darker out, because it's like lit up. It's genuinely just a really nice piece of art. I love it a lot. Had to funky poses. Star at the Full Metal Alchemist Cafe. Where's the JoJo pose? JoJo pose. We're posed up, baby. Doing a really bad version of Joseph's, the 4. How many? What's 5 minus 1? The highly intelligent Joseph. Hitting that 4. Full Metal Alchemist Cafe. I had I think this was Armstrong's beef croquettes, I believe. And it had like tomatillos. They had some fruits. They look fake because they're like really vibrant. And then I got Fura Bradley's blue martini, and it was kind of gross because it was an alcohol-free martini, which is like completely defeats the point of a martini anyways. But it was like a little bit sweet because I think they had blue curacao in it, but they still gave you an olive, which was, you know, super like salty and briny. So it did not work at all, but it looked really cool. So that's it. Like, you got to go all out for this Theme Cafe stuff. But the food actually was like super solid. And then there was what's CBD, and they had a giant blunt in the window. Only like weed related thing I remember seeing. And then went back out because at this point it was like raining a little bit, and it was like 6:30 p.m. and I'm like, my day is not over yet. I need to do more. So I went and explored around nighttime just to like look at a bunch of different stuff. So Dotonbori at night, super busy. So I tried to spend a little bit more time going down like side alleys and stuff, and it was also incredibly busy because everybody had their umbrellas and stuff. And I wanted to go find the different crabs and like all the different little like things that they have. Lots of buildings have like multiple floors, so you can like the JoJo bars that we had to go into were on like different floors and stuff. I got zonked at the Dotonbori CBD booth. Who up smoking they Dotonbori weed with the homies late at night. Gigo's just taking pictures of stuff to like try and remember to check out like at a different day if we needed to, because lots of crane games and stuff. Crab, do you like crab? Me too. Tons and tons of just like side little spots like this that were selling like crab or like wagyu, because it's very touristy, and I was looking for good food. I really wanted what are they called? I was looking for a good place to get takoyaki, because I'm like, I'm in Osaka, I've got to get takoyaki, and I did end up getting some. Lots and lots of like jackets like this with like the embroidery on the back. Amitsu. and Fullmetal Alchemist stuff. They had the Shin Japan Heroes Universe boxers. So we got Kamen Rider, Ultraman, Godzilla, and Unit 1 as boxers. You could buy the 4-piece set for only $120. I was not about that, but I kind of thought it would the idea of just like pants coming off and you're staring your face to face with Kamen Rider just like staring you down, or like Ultraman, kind of funny. Round 1, Pachinko. All of the Pachinko stuff is like advertised for like younger people. There's like Fist of the North Star. They had Kamen Rider stuff. There was like Ava stuff. Like Pachinko is huge. Beer prices at some place. I'm like, oh, I have that. I have this one. Just like to send pictures to my dad, because this was like all the stuff price wise. Captain Morgan's was like cheap. Like $17 a bottle of Captain Morgan's is like super cheap. And just like different beers and whatnot. This is like, you could buy actual like American beers and stuff here, which was interesting. And they had some of the craft beers from when I went to the rooftop bar. It was aimed at younger people with stuff like Fist of the North Star. Okay, you know, that's, yeah, they're still making Fist of the North Star stuff to this day. So technically it's still ongoing. I guess the original, it was aimed at me specifically. They're like, we want to get Gravy in this pachinko parlor because Kenshiro wants him to be here. We gotta have him watch Rao. Gotta chill with the homies. I didn't do any pachinko. I don't think that's probably like not worth my time, but there. Beer, if you're wondering beer prices of like regular beers, these were like, that's pretty on par for here, maybe, but like cheaper, but more regular price. Nighttime stuff, cool hotel. I think it was a hotel, just really nice building. Doing lots of like nighttime pictures because everything looked really pretty, especially with like umbrellas and stuff out. Because you can go like one alley or like one street over, or like any place and stuff like that, and it's like either super dead or you just find like tons and tons of stuff. Because even walking through Dotonbori, you go one street down that isn't in the enclosed area and it's like dead. So it's super easy to get around that way. Lots of Italian restaurants as well. See, pizza mozzarella. Call me gyro the way I pizza mozzarella. Only times I do pachinko is to see the silliness. Yeah, I wanted to at least just once, just to see what it's like, but I know it's like, it's so not worth it and it's kind of dumb and like just a waste of time. But I was intrigued. It's just the areas are like super loud, and I think you could smoke in the pachinko machine areas too. So like they stink. More streets. Green? Ebizo? Green. Yeah, there's like still the occasional like smoking area. It's way less smoking on the streets now. I think they pretty much got rid of that. So there's like designated like housed smoking areas where you go and like smoke inside a room. Which I'm like, that just sounds awful. You in an enclosed space with a couple other dudes just smoking. I'm like, ugh. But then they had the Fortnite Battle Royale JoJo game, but we could only play as Jotaro, unfortunately. But they had all the other characters. But yeah, we could only play as Jotaro because I guess you have to unlock them or something like that. Game was cool. But realizing that, I'm like, nah, no need to check anything else. Oh, just a cool Gohan figure I saw. Lots of JoJo stuff, baby. Look at all this JoJo stuff. They got the JoJo lands. And then I picked, this was at Animate, I believe. And they have just like a big bookstore. So I picked up JoJo 6521 or whatever it's called. I don't know why it's called that. It's no, it's not one of these on the top here. But then all the tons and tons of Thus Spoke Rohan Kishibe, because new live action movie was coming out at that time. And like the new chapter was coming out, so I saw tons of Rohan. You could not escape Rohan. He was everywhere. He was even on the trains. He was on the train ads. So you'd be sitting on the train, I'd look up, and there he would be. Could never escape him. This house should have burnt down again. And then on the upper floor of this place, they had a like Miku museum of all of the different like Nendoroids for Hatsune Miku, which were like really cute. They even had like a little Agumon Miku cute. There was no shortage of Miku everywhere. Every secondhand store place had like a whole like wall just for like secondhand Miku stuff. And then I had beef bowl. This day was just looking at like cheap stuff. I should have gotten pictures of, they had like a soft and wet and like a Josuke from part 8. I should have taken more pictures of the random stuff, but I don't know. Oh, it's called 6251 because that's how many pages of JoJo that were out. Oh, really? Oh, interesting. I was like, why is it called that? If that's actually true, that's really, really neat. Because it only covers up into the beginning of part 4, I believe. It's like the first half of part 4. It stops for the art there. But I'm really happy I picked it up. I had a beef bowl, kimchi beef bowl with seaweed and rice, some chicken karage and miso soup, and this entire thing was 1,000 yen. Dirt cheap, and it was one of the best meals I had. It was so, so good. It's hard to go wrong with beef bowls, especially because, like, it's super, super flavorful. It wasn't bland in the slightest. Then in, like, the underground station by our hotel, they just had this cute little setup. I don't know what it's for, but it was really cute. Lots of cute stuff like this. And I think it was just advertising, because underneath the Subway place is like lots of like like little food places and things to check out. So I got this picture after I went and had a coffee. Oh, it's also references the Lokaka 625. Oh, see, I never made that connection. Oh, okay, because I'm like, man, 6251 is familiar, but like I don't know why. And the last arc for JoJolion is like, it goes by really fast because there's so much happening. JoJolion, still good. Then Shake Shack. It wasn't until like our last day that I actually Googled, because Star and I thought that these were like weird English translations. Like, what do you mean they got concretes? Turns out it's actually a thing that Shake Shack has. It's called concretes. It's like really, really thick kind of ice cream or something. Still funnier for me to think that it was some weird English translation, that they're like, we sell concretes here. Never ate at Shake Shack though. And then we got ramen. Got some beer and Coke, and then I got a couple videos. I got the fire ramen from probably the most touristy ramen place, but I was like, I wanted spicy ramen that day. They had spicy ramen, and it was banging. Can I skip this? Okay. But there's the fire ramen that I had. It was really good. For the price, it was like a pretty expensive. That's like more than I'd pay for ramen here, but I had to. It was good though. Yeah, you know, the deadly premonition just be working. It's good. It's one of my favorite. Like weird, like it's a weird game song because it doesn't sound like it, but I love it. It's so good. And then I went to like a hidden bar called Bar Nayuta. This place didn't have a menu. You walked in, and then a guy came up to you with like a clipboard, and he's like, what do you like? And you just like tell them like the kind of flavors you like and like different stuff like that, and then they just make a drink based on what you tell them. Super, super neat. And also not expensive. I think it was like 12 bucks a drink or something like that, which is, well, I mean, if you had something like that over here, it'd probably be like 30 bucks a drink or something. But it was pretty busy. As people left, they like shuffled you down or whatever, so I eventually got to sit at the bar. Here's me with like the first drink that I had, which was kind of like a Mai Tai, but with like a weird kind of citrus fruit in it. I can't remember what the name of it was. I think it starts with a C, but it wasn't like, it wasn't yuzu, but it was like kind of creamy, tasted good. I was wearing the only thing that I bought from the Nintendo store was this Pikmin button-up, which doesn't really have like a collar. It's just like flat around instead of having like the triangles. That was like one of the only shirts or pieces of clothing that I bought on the entire trip. And one of the buttons down here doesn't look like there is a button because this Pikmin's running off with it, but it like buttons underneath. Really nice shirt. Really bad photos of me because the lighting was terrible, but like had to. And then I slowly moved over. This guy was like chatting with these two young girls like this entire time. And then I eventually moved over after they left, and then he was just chatting with me, and he was like, he got me a drink and was having me like try his drink, and he really kind of just a strange guy. but he knew a bit of English, and so we were mostly just doing like Google Translate chatting, and he was just telling me about different stuff in Japan and how I was liking it and whatnot. But he was an interesting fella. Nice though. Plus free drinks out of it. Hell yeah, I'll take that. And then afterwards, German guy came over and sat next to me, and then I just chatted with him for like an hour and a half or something like that for just. He was a German guy that came for like a heavy metal band, and he was just so happened to be in Osaka at the same time as me. Super nice. His English was fantastic. So we just chatted about random different stuff that we planned to see or like things to go check out, because he was on the tail end of his trip, so he still had a little bit left. So I gave him recommendations. He gave me some recommendations of like restaurants and stuff to check out. This one was like a matcha kind of coffee sort of drink, but it was like clarified, so it was super clear, and it had a little bit of coconut with it. Really, really good. Some of the stuff they didn't like really tell you too much about what it was, but I know allergies probably wasn't really an issue. So, but drinks I had there were phenomenal, super good. And then I went the next day, headed over to Awaji Island because I was gonna go check out the Godzilla Museum. This was probably like the worst day of the trip, but not like it wasn't like bad, but it was stressful for me because to get to Awaji Island and Nijigen no Mori is what it's called. It's like a giant amusement area where they have like Dragon Quest, Naruto, Monster Hunter, and then Godzilla. They had a huge Demon Slayer collab going on. But to get there, you had to like take a train, walk up like 5 floors, then catch an express bus to take you across the bridge to get to there. Except this bus just like didn't stop when it was supposed to. And I was supposed to be at the museum between the hours of 1 and 2. It was like 12:30 at the time of this, and it was like supposed to be like a 10-minute bus ride, and it just like completely didn't stop. So I had to get off, and I was stuck in like the countryside, and it was like so countryside. There was like 1 bus station, no trains, they didn't even have taxis there, and I was like, the nearest Family Mart was like a 30-minute walk from the bus station. And because they didn't have train stations, I was like, how do I fill up my like IC card, which you put money on, and it's for like transit and stuff like that? Because these buses only took that as the card. They didn't take cash, and they didn't take like credit or anything, just those. And I'm like, I don't have enough on the card right now to take another bus. So then I had to like chat with the employees at like a Family Mart to figure out what bus I needed to get on to get to where I needed to go. Also to fill up my card and everything like that. And they had no English, so it was all like Google Translate stuff. It was stressful, and at that point it was already like 2:30. So this is like me on the side of the street after I got off, just in the middle of like nowhere. Lots of car dealerships though. Just like big fields with like a couple buildings and stuff. There was like no fast food places either. It was all like sit-down, like old, small sit-down restaurants. So I didn't really have any options if I wanted like good food besides running to the Family Mart. But finally got on a bus, and I got to felt better taking some pictures. They're doing a lot of burning of I don't know what it was, but there's just lots of burning of like grasses and stuff happening. Really nice and green though. And then I finally made it to Nijigen no Mori. Then I had to walk 25 minutes uphill to get to the place, and I was like, it's like 4 p.m. at this point. I'm like, I'm 3 hours late for the entry time. I paid for the tickets and stuff. I'm like, is it even gonna let me go in? So I was just like beelining it. I completely didn't take pictures of the Naruto area, which had the Naruto heads, or like anything else, but there was the big Godzilla, massive Godzilla in the distance. And it's pretty big. Honestly, it's like kind of scary. Really cool though at the same time. So with the paying for the museum, what does it say? Godzilla Interception Operation Awaji. Oh, I think that's until that time or something. But with the ticket, I was able to do the zip line into the mouth. Then there was like a little shooting mini game, and you like got to do like a couple little attraction things. They played a movie to have a canonical reason as to why Godzilla is chilling on this island. So they had it themed as like a science thing. They like baited Godzilla over here, blew up the ground around him, and then froze him. So they're like, now we can do scientific research on Godzilla on this island. So it's kind of funny they had to make a little story for it. But I did get to zipline into him. I had to put my phone and stuff away so I couldn't take actually any pictures of me on the zipline, which is fine. Because they're like, we don't want to have any liability for you doing anything. So they were like super, super safe with setting up the zipline and stuff. But it was really neat. Doesn't really look like too much, but it's like giant. You go over this way and it's like a giant, like huge pit on the other side over here. So I was pretty high up. And then it's all Godzilla Museum stuff, which was slightly disappointing because I was expecting Godzilla like history, and it was mostly just like figures and models and stuff. Still really cool though. I mean, like Shin Godzilla destroying Tokyo Station is really, really neat. No, is that Tokyo? I think it is Tokyo Station. So I had to get some pictures with the boy. Then they got Godzilla and Kiryu and Mothra, which, I mean, I'm complaining, but like the miniatures and stuff that they made for these are like really impressive. They look super good. And then they like had recreations of a bunch of stuff, like Godzilla fighting Mecha King Ghidorah, original concepts for the like Oxygen Destroyer and stuff like that. Just little setups of Biollante, 1954 Godzilla with brief little things. This Godzilla looks really dumpy. I can't remember which Godzilla. Oh, this is for Godzilla versus King Kong. Then they had a big model of Shin Godzilla, so you can see 1/20th of the size. Shin Godzilla, mad ugly, but they have so much merch stuff for him. Godzilla versus Destoroyah, where he goes nuclear and like blows up. Godzilla 2001. And then they have a American Godzilla. Is that, I think that's what they call him? Oh, 2019 Hollywood version. So I got some good pictures on like the side and whatnot, because I mean there was a lot of work put into setting these things up. More concept art for like the random vehicles. I know the laser vehicle is like a really popular one. They had a couple model kits of it too, which was neat. Super X2, early version of like little Biollante. Biollante is one of the coolest Godzilla monsters, I guess. Some concept art for Biollante, which are all really, really neat. I actually think this one's super cool. That one's like kind of a fungus. Yeah, lots of Biollante is pretty big for Godzilla stuff. And Destoroyah. Not big on Destoroyah personally, but then I don't remember this guy. Because it says it is Destoroyah, but like I don't remember this in the movie at all. I remember all the other things, or like these concept arts at least look like Destoroyah, but that is way different. Oxygen Destroyer, Mecha Godzilla stuff, Chromezilla. And then big ugly Godzilla. That's Agron. It kind of did look like Agron. There's a Godzilla one that comes up. I took pictures of it a little bit later of like Orga, and it looks kind of like that, but that's a totally different movie. So then they had lots of Destoroyah stuff. Like this is the original clay model that they used to make props for Destoroyah off of. Like this is the kind of stuff I was hoping to see more of. Or like the actual rubber head from the Destoroyah prop. I don't know why he was leaking, but so for the actual Destoroyah, like in the movie, this was the head that they used, and they didn't even have it like encased in anything. So like they say don't touch, but like I totally could have touched it. So that was super cool. Godzilla again, Shin Godzilla, which like based off this like old history photo, really really neat. I love the way that they did like the waves and stuff like that. Shin Godzilla is just like really creepy to look at. He's kind of gross. And then more Shin Godzilla and Swipe and stuff. They love their miniatures, which I also love. And then this was for whenever Destoroyah was flying, they had to stick him on like a zip line. This is the one that they used. And then this is also the smaller version of it in the movie. So I was hoping to see more stuff like that, which I didn't get to, but that's okay. I thought it was really neat anyways, even though Destoroyah is like one of my lesser favorite things. But I'm pretty sure like a lot of the old Godzilla suits are like destroyed because they weren't preserved and they were like so much movement and stuff around, so I'm not too surprised. Really old, like, just different Godzilla stuff or Mothra-related things. And, like, Godzilla-adjacent stuff. Like, these two guys are from, the space, Gazor, the space amoeba? Which is this guy, but it was just, like, a random, like, Kaiju Toho movie. So, these weren't necessarily Godzilla-related, but Toho-related. Like, this is, well, this is from a Mothra movie. I need to actually watch the Mothra movies. Like, Mothra and Gamera. I need to watch those. All these different Mecha Godzillas. This is all Godzilla Final War, so they had Chainsaw Hands, Gigan. These are the Hollywood, like, American Godzilla from the anime and the Mutas. And then Shin Godzilla forms. More of the American stuff. Yeah, there we go. Orga. So, like, this kind of little bit looks like that one concept art thing. And then they got the aliens. Godzilla 2000, I do not remember much of, like, at all. I just remember Orga's trying to eat them. They got Baragon from, these are all, like, not Final Wars. These are a GMK. More cool, like, Final War stuff. Just lots and lots. I took pictures of all of the figure stuff just because it was really cool to see all the history of, like, different things. We got my boy Magura, who I really like. Hedera. There's Jet Jaguar and Megalon and Gigan from the best one. Different Mechagodzillas. I personally really like this Mechagodzilla design a lot more than the newer one. We got Ebura. So, yeah, just lots of different stuff. Baby Godzilla. Wait, was there a Minya? There he is. Look at it. He's so ugly. Baby Minya. Then little chibi Godzillas. Surprised they even included the American Godzilla from 1998. He's ugly. And then they had a Monster Hunter collaboration going on at the same time. So you get, like, the Keizu drink and, like, the Zenogre drink, all that kind of stuff. Surprisingly well priced. I just wasn't in the mood for sweets, so I didn't get any. But if I wanted to, I totally would have gotten the Keizu. I love Keizu. And then Big Field. They're like, a Monster Hunter collab, we have the big field. If this was Monster Hunter, you would be fighting the monsters out on this field. Which was kind of a funny way to be like, how can we make this into a collaboration thing, but not actually have to do anything? So this is the field that you'd be fighting a Rathalos in, probably. Big field. But it was more like a kids kind of park anyways. Dragon Quest Island, you had to pay for entry for a lot of this stuff, so I just didn't. But it would have been really cool to check out the Dragon Quest stuff, because I bet it would have been super neat. They did have Big Zenogre, though, which, for it being inflatable, the details on it are, like, really, really good. And it lit up every so often, made, like, noises. But I was waiting for the bus for, like, 20 minutes, and I kind of got tired of them playing the same part of the Monster Hunter theme, like, over and over again. But he was really, really cool. And then, so it all worked out. They let me in, obviously. Even when I wasn't, like, didn't go in during the time. But it was great because it was dead, so I got to go through everything really fast. I was the only person in the museum at the time. So I got to really take my time and take pictures of everything, which was nice. And then I went back to, I think by the time I got back, because I still, like, I had to do the bus, I had to do a bunch of different stuff. Because getting back there took, like, an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, and my phone was dying. My phone was at, like, 4%, and I'm like, I'm just not going to be on my phone, period. Because I don't want it to die, then get lost and figure out how to get back. But that didn't happen, luckily. So I got back. Star was having just kind of a chill day in the hotel room, so that was my own little adventure. And I got back, and there was a standing ramen place in Dotonbori that I had been wanting to try for the past couple days. And it was like 800 yen for a bowl of ramen, and it was just kind of like a plain ramen, like a tonkatsu broth, with like pork and everything, but there wasn't like anything exciting about it. But they did have these, you could throw in like fried rice, kimchi, and this was, I can't remember what kind of kimchi this was, but it was also a type of kimchi. And you could just grab the stuff out of it and put it in your ramen, so I threw a whole bunch of that stuff in, and it was so good. I really liked this stuff. So that was banging. And it was like, you just stand up, you eat like in a couple minutes, and then you leave. And you just go about your day. And then we hit up Universal Studios the next day, because Nintendo World, baby. We'd already done most of the rides last time. I like this guy's face. Big Universal thing. Everybody loved stopping like right in the way and taking a bunch of pictures in front of it. But we got to go on the Jaws ride. We weren't super concerned with going on a lot of the rides because we did it, or I did it last time. The one ride that I wouldn't have minded going on was under maintenance again. It was going under maintenance last time we were there, but it was again. So didn't get to ride on the Flying Jurassic Park ride. Not like a huge loss, but whatever. Went to the Harry Potter world just to kill some time because it was timed entry to get into the Nintendo area. We do not like Harry Potter, but I wanted to get some pictures anyways. Really cool. They had that big thing though. And then we got to go to Nintendo World. And it was insanely busy. Super, super busy. Like it was like, look at all these people. It was nuts. We bought the wristbands and did all the stuff last time. Didn't do any of the Nintendo World rides last time because I know they're not very exciting. Because they're like really slow and more just like simulated reality kind of rides. So and the lineups for them were like 2 hours or so. So it wasn't super worth it. Back of the head. But we had to check out Donkey Kong Country because it wasn't there last time. And up until this point, there hadn't been one in America. I think like the day or so after this was when it first opened, and I don't know where they have Universal Studios in America, but they had one there. So Donkey Kong Country, real cool. Like they went all out for this. I'm hoping they do some more like Nintendo related things. They got the Jungle Beat Shakes, so the meat isn't the only thing you gotta beat. This little rhythm game for if you did it right, Rambi would come out, but you had to like hit them on the beat, and they weren't super like nice to the kids about it because a lot of the kids were really bad at hitting on the beat. Yet they didn't just give the Rambi for free. They're like, you gotta work for them. So Rambi popped out every so often. This is back we entered in through here, but yeah, the way they put up like these giant walls and stuff so you can't really see outside buildings like is really good for immersion. Donkey Kong. And also, I don't think you can see much of the, like, really pictures of the workers too much besides this. The outfits the, like, employees at the park had for this area were so cool. I would have killed to buy, like, the cool, like, red pants and, like, they had, like, the red things on the pauldrons or whatever. Like, the stuff that they wore was so cool. But couldn't buy any of it, unfortunately. But we waited in line for the ride because you gotta. If we weren't going on a bunch of rides, it's kind of worth it to at least sit and ride on a ride. And this one was unique because it had like a patent or something for like jumping the track. But in reality, it's just like an arm is attached to the side of the coaster and then it goes underneath. So like there's no direct contact on the rails or anything. It was cool. Star with bananas. Golden monkey. So it was all, the Donkey Kong Country was like Donkey Kong Country Returns themed. Like the original one, not like Tropical Freeze, just the original. So it's kind of funny that they did all of this and now Donkey Kong's design is different. Water. But they had a Cranky Kong and Squawks animatronic. They moved. I didn't get any video of it, but they moved and talked. He spoke Japanese. I don't speak Japanese, so Cranky Kong could have been saying slurs to me for all I know. But it was really neat. Like all the animatronic stuff they have in Nintendo World was really impressive because they must take really good care of that kind of stuff if it's moving all the time, and maybe probably doesn't really break down too much. But I didn't get any videos on the ride or anything because couldn't. But it was the ride was really neat. It was pretty short. Only sprayed a little bit of water at you, but it was super fun. More Donkey Kong. If I was scared, if I got too close to him, he would throw a barrel on my head, killing me instantly. But yeah, everything here moves. The coins are constantly spinning, the thwomps moving up and down, the piranha plants opening and closing. Like the Goombas are like going side to side, the Koopas going. Everything is moving. There's a ton of moving parts. And it's really neat. But yeah, like putting all these like giant like hills and stuff so you can't see like out in the distance is really neat. But the area is pretty small. And with it being so insanely crowded, it's like, we didn't really want to spend too much time around. Plus, we did try out Toad's Cafe last time, and the food was pretty okay. But yeah, big piranha plant. This one just like opens and closes. They got Bird in the Sky, hired actor. And then Star got pictures with Princess Peach, which were like really cute. So I took lots and lots of those pictures. And then, oh yeah, and see, like their outfits are awesome. I love them. And then I went and saw the Waterworld thing because it was just starting up as I was, because we were like gonna leave after that. And then we got a quick water break. I had a giant like hot dog. I can't remember. No, it was like, what was the meat that we had? It was strange. They had like a Jaws meat thing. Oh yeah, and you had the peach hair clip. But yeah, I got to see the Waterworld show, which was really cool because I didn't get to last time. It's kind of funny that they still have it because Waterworld was like a commercial failure, but I think they banked like a ton of money that it was going to be successful, and it wasn't. So they have all these like stunt shows that run. Lots of actually really cool stunts, and I'm shocked people haven't hurt themselves a whole bunch on it because there's like not much for safety stuff, and they do a bunch of like high in the air stuff, and like there's pyrotechnics, and like they drop people. It's like crazy. Yeah, it was like a big dog. It was crazy. Waterworld was very, yeah, there were parts of it I enjoyed, but it's like 3 hours long. It was too long, and it was like, eh. Dennis Hopper was great though. Did you have the Donkey Kong guacamole Frito chip hot dog? What? Is that a thing? The only Donkey Kong food that they had was like, it came in a barrel, and it was like ice cream? I don't remember seeing the Donkey Kong dog. Did they have a Donkey Kong dog and I just completely forgot about it? But yeah, they had like an ice cream thing that came in the Donkey Kong barrel, which was cool. It was tempting, but I was like, I'm not in the mood for ice cream, and it was like 20 bucks. So, but yeah, lots of like explosions and stuff. They lit this dude on fire, and then they lit this on fire. Donkey Kong barrel of pee. Oh. Listen, I'm paying a high price for Donkey Kong's pee barrel, which is great. And then we went back to this Ghibli store because this was our last night in Osaka, and I was like, all right, I gotta see if I can find a Gravelord sweater that's in my size, because the only one that I saw was an extra large, so I'm like, I gotta go look to see if I can find one. So in the meantime, I saw Totoro again, so. Oh, Game Jammer entry's done, silly little 10-minute game, but happy, hey, congratulations on getting that finished, that's super awesome. Hopefully you get lots of sleep, you deserve it, you put in a ton of work, that's awesome. But yeah, I was out. They had, John Bart, like a pirate cafe or something like that. Had a Strong Zero. This cool little like tunnel into like a Wagyu hotel. I googled it and it said, oh, USJ DK World. Okay, because they only had the ice cream there, so. Dotonbori, like nighttime rides, Dotonbori at night. You can see how insanely busy it is, even on the sides. Like the bridge is nuts. Big Don Quixote. Or this wasn't the. Oh yeah, no, this was the Don Quixote. It's like 8 floors, and then a little bit further away, they had a giant like Don Quixote. A Ferris wheel, but it was shaped like this, so it wasn't like a circle. It was like an oval. Wouldn't ride on that one either. I'm too scared of heights. But I went back into Don Quixote just to like look at different stuff and take prices for my dad. They did have the hot dog? Okay. Plus also like hot dog, I'm like, eh. I simply am not super excited about hot dogs because it's pretty hard to beat foot-long hot dog from the aquarium. For $8, that was a little bit more reasonable. And then I got takoyaki on the way back. Hell yeah. Still thinking about that takoyaki. It was so good. I had to help a tourist figure out how to do the payment stuff because they like didn't know how to do it, and then it like I put my money in to pay, and then it spit out their thing as well. So then we had to like split the change because they didn't know how any of that worked. But it all worked out in the end. I got my food, they got their food. It was all good. And then so here we go, back in the hotel room, takoyaki in the bag. I had already eaten some of it. It looked kind of messy, but it was so good. It was like $6 for like 8 pieces of takoyaki. It looked kind of rank, but I would cross a lot of boundaries for DK. There are many things I would do for DK that I should not say on stream for legal reasons. I don't need Miyamoto trying to hunt me down. But yeah, takoyaki. It was so good. And then their little fiber mini. And then I went to a punk bar, like an English punk bar. So it was all like English. The dude didn't really speak any Japanese, and all he did was play like punk records. So he was playing Deftones, which I guess I wouldn't say they're punk, but like it was a punk themed bar. There was some band that was there just like having some beers, so I got to chat with them for a while. I think this is Dio, and then I just like was there until they closed. A Japanese couple came over and they bought like everybody in there a free round and a shot. And then I was talking to this old like airplane pilot for like a couple hours. Super fun night. Because on the first trip I never went to like bars or like really did any like talking with random people. So I did a lot more of that on this trip, and it was super fun. Definitely some highlights of the trip were like talking to random people. Mostly only did it in Osaka though, because I didn't want to have to worry about missing the last train, but all of this was in walking distance of the bar, or not bar, hotel. So I was like, I can be out as late as I want and walk back. But then like it being late at night, I got like propositioned by women for money, and I was like, didn't expect that in the slightest, but it happened twice in one night. Never again on the entire trip though. And then we were in Kyoto. So we were in Kyoto for 3-ish days. I think we were for like 3-ish days. There wasn't a whole... Kyoto was kind of like good for downtime because there wasn't too much that I wanted to get done. I wanted to check out Koei Park in Kyoto, but ultimately didn't end up doing it because I realized it probably wouldn't be super exciting. I mostly just wanted to get a picture in the hand of like the giant Ava, but like it wasn't really worth the entry fee to just do that because everything else was like where they filmed like period pictures and stuff like that, so whatever. But right by our hotel, we were killing time before we checked in, so we got to check out the Kyoto Aquarium, and they had huge salamanders. Look at these bad boys. They had Clodsire just hanging out. They're massive. They're like kind of ugly, but I love them. Like, look at those bad boys. Huge. So really, that was a highlight. Instantly being able to see giant salamanders was great. Got pictures of Star with seals in the background. This was by like a little food court, and the seals would like sometimes pop out underneath here, which was really cute. And then it's just like regular kind of aquarium stuff. They got penguins, more jellyfish. They had like a jellyfish like breeding area. They were doing like cock and ball torture on the jellyfish here. They were doing all sorts of sciencey stuff. I have no idea, but they were doing something. They could have been cloning somebody back there, you know? They put Star in the vat. They thought Star was a seal, so they're like, hey, get back in there. So unfortunately, Star had to go in the vat for a little bit. Ultimately, I got her out, which was good, because we had other places we had to check out, and we had to check into the hotel, so couldn't stay there forever. But they had the jellyfish. They had dolphins. Look at these dolphins. Look at these bad boys. And then they had just like this jet of water, and the dolphins love just going out of the water and just like just absolutely taking it. But hey, they're enjoying themselves. They love it. This is them, and these are microplastics. They love microplastics. Put more in the water. They want it. And then they had fuzzy crab. Big crab. He chilling. And then a little back, like, kind of garden-y sort of area with some, like, little baby fishes. Star was post-vat. Got some, like, kois in the pond, but not like the fancy kois. They were just, like, koi carps. But it was really, really nice out that day. I was super hungry. Very, very hungry. Because we had to Shinkansen from Osaka to Kyoto. I think we had to. It was like 2 hours, 3 hours, and I hadn't had, like, any food. And there was, like, nothing I was super feeling. Some, like, train cards that got converted into, like, really, really small shops, which was really cute. And they were selling bagels that were, like, the little hoops that you'd hold onto on a train. Genius idea. I love it. And then they had, like, shaved ice and stuff. But, yeah, they're just, like, little bagels. It's so, so cute. Abandoned track. Just outside. But I got some banging curry at this random little place. This was so good. I don't even know what this thing was, but it was good. I ate all of it so fast. But the bowl kept, like, wibbling. But I ate it all, and it was great. And then we went and checked out a garden. Most gardens have, like, a small entry fee you have to pay to go in, but they're, like, super, super well maintained. So it makes sense, and I think all the money directly goes back into like funding it. So this place was gorgeous. I think it was like the only garden we did check out, but like if you're in Japan, super worth the time to go like spend like $1 to go into these places because they're really nice. And they had sort of like a bamboo-y kind of forest behind it that I didn't get any like pictures of, but yeah, they had like waterfalls and stuff. They had like acorns on the ground, and I carried a little acorn around for like a while. But yeah, just all nice and green. There's the acorn. I kept that with me for like a couple days, and then it cracked open, and I was like, I guess I should probably throw it out. But I wanted to eat it. And as we were leaving, there was like a bunch of old ladies that were just in the shade, like sketching the garden. It was really cute. And then we went and checked out a train museum, which was super neat. Lots of trains, more miniatures, as per usual. Nothing to be surprised about by the tons and tons of trains. But they had like little models of like old convenience store stuff by the train stations, or like what the old stations used to look like. All the different like lights, all these different trains. The cool thing is a lot of stuff is interactable, so you can like press all the buttons and like touch all the stuff. And I'm like, this is the best thing ever. I love pressing the little buttons and doing all the stuff. So really good for kids and people like me. All these different kinds of trains. You could operate these trains and like change their speed and stuff, and they all had cameras built onto the front so you could see them how they go around, which was really cool. Shinkalian collab stuff. I don't think Miku was in this one. I think this was like a exhibit that was going like, or like a show that they put on every like little while, but we had just missed it, and I don't know what it is, but there's lots of train stuff in there. They had Ava train. Example of like food and stuff that they would have. So these are like octopus pot meals that they would sell. You could buy them there, but they were sold out for the day. But I thought they looked really neat in the little clay pots. And then they had food, which like food, I mean, the prices were pretty good. I don't know what Kyoto style ramen is, but I loved the meat sauce spaghetti with lime cheese to make it look like little railroad tracks, or the Dr. Yellow hashed beef and rice. I don't know the nostalgic Hamburg steak with rice, or the crusted honey buzzard rice. But as per usual with like every place, you can you can get beer like everywhere, and French fries. Would you rather draft beer glass 500 yen, French fries 600 yen? Makes you wonder. And then they had with the ticketing machines for the like train stations. This is what it looks like, and they gave you a little ticket so that you could put through it, and it gave you practice for if you needed to know how to use the trains. And then every so often when you put the ticket in, it like declined it, so you could see what it's like when it doesn't let you through. Really cool stuff. Then a big train crossing. There's a, where is he? Okay, you can't see him from here, but they had a Thomas the Tank Engine just like chilling on the other side of the tracks over there. But it was really neat to see all the different like train stuff, because I think trains are pretty neat. And then the Kyoto station, we were just looking for food because this place goes like really high up, and it like gave me super sweaty palms when I turned around to look back down. I didn't like it. But they have like on the left over here one whole thing of just like restaurants, and then you go down one floor and it's one whole like row of just ramen shops. So we got ramen. We actually got Tantan Men, which was like the best of the trip. I love Tantan Men. Tantan Men was so good. It's like a Chinese, Japanese fusion dish, because don don noodles are Chinese, but they'd mix like, it'd be like don don noodles with like the beef and everything, and then they'd mix it with like ramen broth, and it was unbelievably good. And I got some gyoza, but yeah, this was like the best kind of food on the trip. There's a Rohan that I guess Araki did the cover for whatever Japanese thing this was, but there he was. And then the next morning I went back to the Kyoto station to like, it was kind of like buffet sort of style, where you just like basically picked up whatever you wanted and then they charged you for it. So I got caramel macchiato. This was just like a giant cheese like scone. It was like super dense but filled with cheese. This was a croque monsieur, and then this was like a apple apple Danish, and then a small little cookie. But this was all super, super good. I was super full. And then we saw one cat outside by our hotel. There was a shrine like directly next to it. And then we went and we saw otters. We got to go to a little otter cafe, and the otters were so cute. And they're so small. They're just like wet cats, kind of. And they're just, they got, their fingers are like kind of gross. They got kind of like human fingers with like nails and stuff. But they're, they're just like so cute. A little bit smelly. Like a little bit smelly. But they're just so happy. And they obviously really like the people that work there. Yeah, they just enjoy themselves. I took I think a couple videos. I think this one was Bob. The last, I can't remember what the other one was, but I'm pretty sure this one was Bob. And Bob, look, Bob is just, look at Bob. Bob just munching. They kind of sound like birds, like this little squeakies. Yeah, they're super cute. And then they would give you like food that you could put in your hand, and so that they could eat. It's kind of how like Peanut eats. So it's kind of just like hanging out with the cats back at home. They're just, yeah, they're super cute. I love the little tap when they're finished. Like, no more? Okay, bye-bye. So that was a really nice time. And then went to another one of the stores that had like all the prints and stuff. This one actually did have originals, which was super cool. Like, and like some just giant things. So like from the OVA, they had an original, but I don't even want to know how much that was. That's like $7,000. But like unbelievably cool that they had like an original cell, and they had one for Jolene as well. Not nearly as expensive as this one, but like, whoa. And like one for Dio as well. And then they just had so this was like a limited reproduction, so there's only a couple, but really interesting to see how like in the new Araki art style, how like he draws some of the characters. Like Polnareff and like Risotto and Prosciutto do not look like anything like they do from their parts, which is like bizarre. JoJo's bizarre. But a Funny Valentine got that drip. Big puffer jacket, he's got that thing on. And then a couple like, yeah, Poochie. Even like Kakyoin is hardly recognizable too. But yeah, really, I thought that was a really neat one. And then they got Ultraman. We love Ultraman. This one, obscene. Like 10 grand for like, holy. But it is original. It's hand painted. So like, it makes sense. It's like an actual like historical thing. Because you got like Ultraman Leo, I think. And some cats at a cat store. I got like a Belgian iced chocolate, because it's not a hot chocolate, it's iced, and it was just really rich. And then just walking around Kyoto, picked up, that was the first like Kira figure that I had seen that was also like a reasonable price, because it's they're like, it's missing parts and it's been opened, so it's like heavily discounted. And then I opened it and it wasn't missing any parts at all. It even came with like a little sheer heart attack and the different head for when he's Kawajiri with like the streaks in his hair. And it came with all the different hands and like the sandwich bag and the briefcase and stuff. And then I bought a little baby Emporio. Valentine must be Jewish because that trip is real. True. He got that thing on. I could never wear something as good as Funny Valentine did. And then, but yeah, little baby Emporio. Yeah, so little sheer heart attack. Different tie, the different head, cell phone, and it came with like the briefcase and stuff too. So he had like, it's sick. I unfortunately couldn't find like too much more. I would have really liked to get like a Killer Queen that was a reasonable price, but all the Killer Queen stuff was really expensive. They had like a $200 blue Killer Queen. I don't know what made him so expensive for being blue, but he was blue. And then I picked up the Gravelord Nito merch because I went on like a little adventure. Banger sweater, by the way. It's so comfy and like the material's actually good. And then for the next morning I had spicy pork, tofu, and rice from 7-Eleven for like $5. That was my breakfast, and it was super good. Oh, some figures. I did end up picking up the Satchel. I have that bad boy chilling up, and he's heavy. He's like this big. So trying to like fit him in my suitcase, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get him to fit. But he was cheap because he didn't come with the box, which was totally fine with me. My favorite Ava Angel. And like for that price, I was willing to. I always really wanted to find like a model kit of him, but I don't think they exist. And then they had a couple JoJo stuff. So like prices on these ones were significantly better than a lot of places. Like finding like a Caesar Zappelli for $40. Weather Report for 20, Joseph for 35. Like these were probably some of the best priced JoJo figures, but they just didn't have boxes and stuff. Also, Dio looks really strange like that. But I was just mostly looking for just like Kira at the time. And then we did yakiniku, so like all you can eat beef for like an hour roughly, and you got to grill all your stuff. This is one of our homies that we met up with on the trip. So we had like beef tongue and like galbi and a bunch of like fatty cuts. We had like squid, whole lot of meats, and it was fantastic. We found a bathing ape, and then there was a tuna vending machine for whatever reason. I don't know. Is he Mexican? No, he's native. And from Haida Gwaii, which I don't exactly know. But, yeah. But he was a homie. This was our, because we were heading to Kanazawa to meet up with another one of Star's friends while they were off work. Oh, okay, I got excited. I don't think I have, like, know too many people that are Mexican now that I think about it. But Kanazawa was, like, pretty, like, it was north of, far, like, to the opposite, far north from where we were, but not, like, north, like, Hokkaido and stuff like that. It was, like, northwest on the island. They get called, like, every ethnicity except white. And then I found Anasui, baby. Real chameleon. True, real life. They got Anasui, though. And Gucci. And we did karaoke here, and it was really, really hot outside. But it was really nice. And then, so they work at, like, a bathhouse kind of place. So this was, like, a real, like, a natural hot springs that, like, the water was super, super hot. But you could stick your feet in out here, and then otherwise it was the big bathhouse there. And you can see all, like, the calcification of, like, from all the minerals and stuff. But it was, like, a really nice little town. Definitely popular just for, like, the bathhouse, because it has, like, a really small population. But it was super, like, lush and green. Yeah, this is Pedro. This is, Star's other friend. Cheap viewers on Whoa! Oh my gosh. So we got to walk around this, like, little place for a little bit just to, like, kind of kill some time just for something to do in the afternoon. And the Yamanaka Onsen Kiku no Yu area strolling map. So yeah, this place is, like, this is it. Essentially, like, that's it. Dude, shut up. Get out of here. Bots. No more bots. I can't believe it. A bot. For me? Unbelievable. Me? More viewers? Buy followers? Cannot believe it. But yeah, this place was just really, really nice. Very, very, like, the areas that were green were, like, super green. It, like, was, like, blowing the colors out. Like, this picture is, like, it's super bright. But really, really pretty. I actually really like this picture a lot. And then went to a shrine. And they had a horse, just like Steel Ball Run. But yeah, this was like pretty much the entire place. It had a really, really like low population. They had a Gashapon thing in like a liquor store. So I did Gashapon and I can't remember what I won. But I bought 2 little beers just because they were like, why not? They were brewed there. So I'm like, I'll get 2 little beers. They were okay. I didn't really like the ginger one all that much. It was gluten-free. It was like 2% or something like that. It was like kind of just like a sort of gingery flavored light sake. I wasn't massive on it. But the little baby Asahi just fit in my little hand. Or maybe it's a massive one and I'm just like Andre the Giant. It was worth it just for that little bad boy. He's super cute. And then just like some more pictures. 7 stars. Saw a lot of Hokuto no Ken, baby. Fist of the North Star. That's them. 7 stars. Oh, my sister's calling me. I'm not going to pick up because I'm streaming. And then we made it to Kanazawa for the night. We were there just for the night so that we could then afterwards take the Shinkansen and go to Tokyo. I had ramen again that night for like 800 yen. This ramen was unbelievable. It was so good. Sometimes ramen just hits different. It doesn't even have to be super special. It was just like really good. And then when we were in Kyoto, Star went out with Gitsuka for a little bit and I went back to the hotel so I could like shower and clean up and everything like that. And while that happened, Star bought me two of the full arts that I really, really wanted. So now I have them hanging out over there. You can't see because there's the glare on them. But also with my boys, I think I got a better picture of them later on. But yeah, these are the only Pokemon cards that I care about. Full art Pinsir was super cute and Heracross. And then my goal was to get the spiciest curry at Curry House there. Because last time I was like, I got the 8 and it was really spicy. I want to go even hotter. And then when I got there, I realized that it goes 1 to 10 and then it jumps from 10 to 20. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't get the hottest one that they have because it's gonna probably hurt. So I got the level 9 and it was so good. Like, it was like insanely spicy, but it tasted fantastic. So pork katsu with mushroom curry, and I got a lassi. Got myself yogurt drink, baby. And it was really good. So this was like directly across from our hotel, so I went there a couple times. And then just after we checked in, I walked around a little bit just to see what was around. There was another garden, like in here was a garden, but we didn't get a good chance to like check it out because it closed at 4 every day. And at this point it was already like 4, and we had done most other stuff like other days. So realistically, I probably should have checked it out one morning, but I just didn't. It was a little bit rainy this day too, but only like 1 or 2 days was it actually raining like all day. This was just like light little pitter, but it was really pretty. Like, just because everything's like all nice and green. Oh, and then here's me with my little baby. Being also a little baby. Pocari Sweat, the goat hidden in the background. Love me my Pocari Sweat. And then checked out Ikebukuro. They had all of my favorites. Godzilla, Ultraman, Kamen Rider, Baby Gohan. At the Korean barbecue beer garden for some reason. Checked out the Ava store. Everything was really, 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 really expensive. So I didn't actually end up getting anything. None of the merch was that exciting this time. Okay, these pants were super cool, but they were like $300. I was not about to spend like $300 on pants. And they're also like the kind of jeans and stuff that like Japanese style, so they're like baggier and bigger, and that's just not for me. And then they had like a button-up shirt that was also like it, but it was like $200. And I'm like, I don't want to spend that much on clothes. So I missed out on like all the merch here, but that's okay. Because everything was like a collaboration with like a fashion brand. So just everything was so pricey. So they didn't even have like any of the shirts that I bought last time. So I'm glad I bought them last time. But I mean, it was still really cool to check out anyways. Ikebukuro, super busy. It was like just after Golden Week anyways. Like we showed up on like the second last day of Golden Week. Cute little merch with the laid back red cap girl, which I thought was like a pretty cute brand. And then this Pokemon Center, way better than the Osaka one. Because they had plushies of my boys. So I got a Duskull, a Pinsir, and a Regigigas. I never would have expected to see merch for Regigigas or Pinsir, so I was super happy about that. They also had one for Regirock, but I'm like, I'll just get 3. So I love having Regigigas hang out with me. Right now he just is like chilling over there with the other boys, but the Gigas is the best. And I also got a replacement Pinsir sticker because I had to change my phone case out last year, so I lost it. But I got a new one, baby. And then there was I think this was the Shonen Jump at the time, so I like just as it was coming out, I got to see it. But yeah, lots of Thus Spoke. And then checked out the Bandai Namco store and didn't realize that they moved all of the stuff from JoJo Day to the Bandai Namco store, so I got to see all of the stuff. None of the merch was like super exciting. It's a lot of these like vinyl stands, and I think the Giacchio mints and like little Metallicas and stuff like that. The Dio head glass is funny, but I didn't want to have to like worry about it breaking or anything, so I didn't really care for it too much. But they had a display of like all these Pokemon things over time. Like a Steven. They got Steven Stone. And like all the gym leaders and stuff from like Gen 1. Brock with his Onyx. None of these were like available at the time, but they were so cool. They had all these different options. I wish. And then model kits for Yu-Gi-Oh, like the Egyptian gods. They didn't have Ra for some reason, but they had Exodia and not Exodia. Obelisk the Tormentor and Slifer the... Oh no, this is Ra. Slifer the Sky Dragon was the one that wasn't included. And then they had Buster Blade. And then here's a better look at some of the ones that actually were available at the time. So you could get anything from these sets. The Wobbuffets came with the Unknowns, and I thought they were really cute. They're maybe about like $7. And then they had like Feraligatr and a bunch of other ones. But, man, getting a Cloyster would have been really neat. And then it's always really interesting to see the Japanese names for some of this stuff. They had a little Katamari in the Crane game. Some mech-related things that I don't know the names of these things, but they had a Tamino visit a couple times and sign stuff. I don't think they had like the Nessa actually for sale anywhere. I don't think so, but I can't totally remember. And then just like a little diorama for Aura Battler Danbane. I don't know, Danbanan. And then I took a picture of this model kit because I thought this one was actually super cool, but I didn't want to spend $60 on a model kit. I was like, if I'm buying model kits, I want them to be like $10. So this one was really, really neat. I don't even know what it's from, but I just thought he looked super cool. They had a Kamen Rider 50th anniversary belt, which was really cool. It's like mine. Mine's pretty cool too. And then JoJo World stuff. They had these as like little gashas. All of these are really cute. It's all the Joe Bros. The Joe Bros. Except I would have been so keen on like doing gacha for these if they didn't. This is Okuyasu Erasure. Josuke hated Rohan. Why would they put Rohan in instead of... I understand for the marketing purposes, but like... Okuyasu! If Okuyasu was in there, I totally would have gone for some of like these, because like the little Caesar and Kakyoin and Hermes and like Bruno are so cute. Maybe they just wouldn't have been able to make Okuyasu cute. He's kind of ugly. Kind of a freak with it. But yeah, they had like the merch and stuff they had was cool. You could get the Jotaro disc. They had like a cafe, and they had a bunch of attractions. Like they had a audio thing where it was like a walking tour around, where I believe it was just like the radio guy for Morio was just like giving you a walking tour around Morio or something like that, but everything was only in Japanese, like, and was like kind of text heavy or something, or you needed to listen, so it wasn't reasonable for me to want to do any of that. But they had a couple different things. And then they had the famed The Chair with random guy. My mom was like, who's that? Who's that guy? I'm like, I don't know who he is. It's just a random guy. And then they just, at the Gasha, they had lots of random, like, animals for Gasha things. Lots of, like, crabs and beetles and stuff like that. And dolphins. But the amount of gacha machines that they had was insane. There was like several hundred gacha machines. And then I got to see the big, that were in front of like JoJo Day, the big mask, and then the Iggy, which was really cool to see. Yeah, moms always be asking who random people in the photos be. Or like you're showing them a video and they're like, who are they? Do you know them? It's like, no, I don't know them. They're just a person in the video. Happens all the time. And then this is just outside of Ikebukuro Sunshine City Hotel. Or not hotel, mall. And then they had like little houses built in on the side here. I think I got better pictures of them last time I was there. And then just like Fullmetal Alchemist merch kind of stuff. You can tell her it's my cat. Oh, there we go. And then the sriracha vending machines, which I wanted to get, but the last thing I wanted is a sriracha bottle to explode in my suitcase, so I didn't. Just walking around in... Because we were in Tokyo, we stayed in Komagome. And I went to Anamate, and I picked up the JoJo Veller. It is huge. Like, it's a really beefy book, and it also came with 2 other smaller books. But it was super worth it. They also had JoJo A Go-Go available. But I'm like, if I'm only gonna pick up one, I'll pick up JoJo Veller because it included JoJolian stuff. But it didn't include like all of the JoJolian stuff. It stopped about half-ish way through, so there wasn't any Wonder of You or Toru or like too much for like Stone People stuff, which was a little unfortunate. But I got to get some cool like Josuke art and like stuff of all the stands. So I'm really happy I picked it up, and I got to keep the little box that it's in. And then I went to Trader Vic's. This is like my other pilgrimage spot. I went here last time. And I'm like, I got to. There's only 2 Trader Vic's original locations still left in the world, and this is one of them. And it was completely dead. So one of the waitresses was just like chatting with me though for most of it, and she was super, super nice. Took a picture of all the menus and stuff. I only got like, the drinks were like really expensive when it wasn't happy hour. Same thing with the food. So I got like the Tropical Thai Wave, which was like 3 different like variations on the Mai Tai, and then like the Scorpion Bowl, which was like that big and was really, really good. But yeah, it was all tiki themed and super fancy because it was in like the 4th floor of like a fancy hotel. But I'm like, I gotta check it out, and I'm like, I'll come back another day on happy hour so I can try more things, because I didn't want to spend full price on the drinks, and you know. So, and then I got some pictures on the walk back, which was, I took like exactly the same pictures from last time I went to Trader Vic's, which was really nice, because I'm like, oh, I can put them side by side and see how stuff has changed. Except it was like pouring rain last time. And then by the trains, this was in Nakano, because I was going to check out the 3rd JoJo bar, because there was 3 in total. In Osaka, there's 2 JoJo bars and 1 JoJo ramen place. Didn't go to the ramen place, but went to the bars instead, which is probably maybe slightly more worth it. This one actually had a menu, and it was like for every single character and like famous phrases and stuff for every single part. So the book was huge and just like completely filled with stuff. Some more Steel Ball Run merch. They were actually playing the episodes, but like exclusively character deaths. So when I was at the bar here, characters in part 5 were dying because the guy was playing the episodes, and like there were 2 girls like sitting to the right of me that started crying when one of the characters died, and it was pretty funny being like, they're crying at the bar because they killed off a white boy. But they had Bedazzled Jotaro just like spinning around. They kept Dio in the cage with this like figure. Must have been super expensive. But I sat at the same spot 2 times in a row, so I didn't get any pictures on like the right side of the bar, unfortunately. But they did play some like pretty good bits. And they had like the D4C mask, Missing Baby. Like they had a bunch of paper mache masks all around, which was like really, really cool. But yeah, I do like this Danganronpa music. I miss Danganronpa. And then so I ordered the Yoshikage Kira, and they gave me this like a rubber hand to go with it. And I had to wear the tie. Every time I went to like a JoJo bar, I had to dress up a bit for it because I'm a nerd and I'm goofy, but I don't care what people think. I'm like, I had to do it for the experience, and it was worth it. But yeah, they had like the little cars from part 3. They got Green Baby. They got the sign that Dio tries to decapitate someone with. All these fellas. They had a really cool like denim jacket on the side here that was kind of like Giorno's thing, but it was like a mix of that and like Bruno's. I like the air conditioning Jotaro. But yeah, they had a ton of like really cool merch. I got better pictures on the second time. So I got the Kiryu Shikage, and I also got the Black Sabbath, which was just a Guinness. Because they at least told you what some of the stuff was, but some things were also just originals. And then I got the Samurai Mac for breakfast that morning. Dang good. It was like the Samurai Mac that had like the egg and like ham on it. And it was solid. And then we went to like a exotic animal cafe with, they had a Kinkajou, which is like a monkey bear combination. They had meerkats that were eyeing me up. They were staring me down. They got gophers. They had a fennec fox. The fennec fox was really cute. There was like some other kids there that were like foreigners, and they were super loud. Little hedgehog. The meerkats were really cute. They're just like little babies, and they were sleeping. Then they had chinchillas. Star was allowed to hold the little sugar gliders, and she was really happy about that. Like, they're so small, and they're so cute. And they like, oh yeah, the bruise, I forgot about, yeah, the bruise on your leg was massive. They no stevia gliders, no glucose gliders, but they did get the sugar gliders. And the little chinchillas. Like, because they didn't want you holding them directly, so they had stuff to put them in so that you could hold them. And like the little chinchilla, it kept wanting to escape. So you had to keep like kind of pushing its head back in. And at one point it like jumped away and started running around the room, and they had to like grab it and stop it. But man, chinchillas, super soft. Just mad chilling in the pod. Not a care in the world. Little Kinkajou. The fennec fox. That's just like that Pokemon. And then they had owls. And it was like kind of scary because they were like all staring at you. And then you turn to the left and there's another one staring right at you. They're just eyes wide open. They're glaring at you. And then it just holding another sugar glider. There's some of the meerkats. They're just, you know, doing meerkat things. They be chilling. But yeah, they were just a bunch of cuties. And this sugar glider kept wanting to escape, so it kept having to like push him back in. Star did all the animal holding because I was not wanting to. Nothing wrong with that. I was just like, I just wasn't in the mood to hold any animals. But yeah, they're just so cute. And then they had a Heaven's Door like face mask thing for Gasha, which was really good. It's just like kind of ugly in the jar. And then Star managed to get a picture of me chilling in the chair because I had to. I could not leave. Yeah, and this was like part of the Morio walk kind of thing. Invisible Baby mentioned. And then the JoJo Cafe. So they had risotto. And then they had like some Jolene thing. Zeppeli. Like all the food wasn't like super exciting. But they did have these. Oops, I was trying to see if I could speed it up. Because I think, come on. There we go. So you could order a coffee and get like a donut with it. And you got to pick which character that you wanted. And they'd print it on your drink if this actually wants to play. Okay, it doesn't really want to play. But either way, it was really cool. And then, so I got Josuke and Star got Jonathan. And it came with a little Sex Pistol donut, which was actually really good. They made it like homemade in-house, so it wasn't just like a super manufactured thing, and it tasted fantastic. And I got a hot chocolate with this, nice warm drink. all the coffees and stuff are typically like cold or in like the cans and stuff. So I was like, give me warm, give me something hot. And then I got Mapo Tofu, and Star got like Black Sesame, Tauntaun Men, I believe. But the Mapo Tofu was banging. Yeah, Black Sesame Tauntaun Men, super good. Star with tons and tons of the highlighters that they bought because they were a dang good deal at one of the stores. And then the little, at Akihabara, there was a Gundam, like Tamashii Nation store, so they had a bunch of Gundam things set up for GQ. Really like these guys with the big spike ball, and this like lobster looking guy is one of my favorite Gundam designs. Lucky Star vinyl. They had a bunch of vinyls at this place, but I would have been inclined to buy some if I wasn't worried about them breaking in transit, because vinyl's just way too fragile, and it's like so thin too. Giant Mr. Saturn for like $60, but he was like this big, really, really big Mr. Saturn. Some Blu-ray discs and stuff. First time I've ever seen JoJo's like Blu-rays, so they had all of Battle Tendency for $117. All of Stardust Crusaders for $200. Golden Wind for like, these things were like expensive, but it was really cool to actually see in person. And then Fist of the North Star. Fist of the North Star, baby, we love it. I'm happy that I got to read Fist of the North Star before I landed, because there was some pretty cool Fist of the North Star stuff. Then I went and met up with our friend, and I got hamburger steak and regular steak at, I can't remember what the place was called, but had to get some meats. Dang good meat. Like, hamburger steak sounds like it'd be a grossing, like a Salisbury steak, where it's just like, you know, ground beef put into a patty, but it's actually so good. It was amazing. And they had this kind of like onion glaze, and the sauces were like yuzu and stuff, and they were really good. I picked up a Josuke and Soft and Wet, because they were both actually on sale. So Soft and Wet was, the box it was in was damaged, and there's something else, like one of the pegs was like broken off on the foot, so it was $30. So it was like super heavily discounted, which I'm really happy about. And then the little things that Star got, and this Josuke actually isn't like, it's separate from him, so Josuke goes over here, but he fits perfectly standing just next to him, and I'd rather keep him that way because it looks way cooler. Soft and Wet is definitely one of my favorite design-wise. I think it's super cool. Star in the background, hidden star. And then some gashas that I did that day. Well, I didn't actually pull the whole horse, but they had one available at one of the little, like, they had, like, stores that sold gacha stuff individually, so you didn't have to do actual gashapon, but some of the stuff was expensive. But this whole horse was only a couple bucks, so I'm like, sweet, I'll buy him. And even had little stats underneath him. Jotaro was from a blind box, and I got Joseph from an actual gashapon thing that was running. He is so cute. I love him. Come to Cali, really good authentic Japanese restaurant, incredible Hamburg steak. Man, yeah, I am sold on Hamburg steak. Just, I wouldn't trust any place up here to have it, because I bet it wouldn't be very good. But there, it was fantastic. And there's, yeah, Josuke back there. And then I got a beer. And then we watched a guy eat baby food for like a week, because that was fun. I loved watching this guy's videos. Lots of watching Oni plays and Killdozer when we were there. And then I went for a little walk in the morning. So this is like right by our hotel was Komagome Station. So got a nice look at that. Yeah, maybe eating only baby food, no water for a week doesn't actually sound that bad. He lost like, I can't remember how much weight he lost, but he did it. He's hardcore. If you haven't watched any of Killdozer's videos, I definitely recommend it. They're really funny. Akihabara, I just spent this morning looking for I just spent the morning looking for like JoJo figures and stuff. And then I found a bar that played games. Or not necessarily like played. They had these SNK stuff set up. And if you bought a drink, you got unlimited free play. So I was like, I think I'll have to come back later. This day I was also looking for CDs for Ustrud, because they had a secondhand store, but I managed to, I got chili beans right here. So I'll have to make sure I send that over soon. But what they had secondhand stuff all set up over there. And then I went to Shinjuku to go see Godzilla, and they wouldn't let me see the Godzilla. They're like, you're not allowed out. No people are allowed outside to go see Godzilla today. So I'm wondering if that's a permanent thing or not, but I was really sad. But that just made me doubly happy that Last time I went, I did get to go like right up next to him, so, and sit outside when he was doing the roar. They're doing cleaning on this Godzilla versus Mothra thing, which also looks really, really neat. It's the scary version of Godzilla where he has like the whites in his eyes, which I think is GMK Godzilla. And then Tom Cruise mentioned. But yeah, Tom Cruise fighting Godzilla. I don't think I had it saved in the slideshow, but Star took a little picture and it's like, "Be gone, white boy." And then every hour they have the Godzilla head play noises. I'm just gonna keep the Game & Watch music in the background anyways.
Well, we put right under a thing.
But that, like, the only thing I wanted to do in Shinjuku was... But yeah, it does the little spit and stuff every so often. Yeah. The only thing I wanted to do in Shinjuku was see the Godzilla head from Godzilla, and then walk around Kabukicho, because I didn't look around Kabukicho at all. Less so like the Yakuza games, because Shinjuku's definitely more like newer building stuff. But I didn't check it out period last time, so I'm like, I gotta at least check out Kabukicho. So I did a little. I don't know why I got a picture down this street, but I did. I just cuz. And then Godzilla store. They had little Chef Godzilla. Yeah, oh yeah, tons and tons of host cafes, lots of them. A little Godzilla setup. Just a bunch of like cute stuff. Another Godzilla -1 statue, this one not with the blue glow. They had like little masks and stuff on some of the Godzillas back here. It was really funny. We went to a Hong Kong restaurant that night and got like Tauntaun Men again. But I got Tauntaun Men with assorted dim sum. And it was unbelievably good. It was so good. Look at all that meat and all that seasoning and noodles. And the assorted dim sum was amazing. Oh, I was so happy. It was great. And then this was just the drink menu at the game bar that I went to. I got a Moscow Mule, because I was like, if you gotta buy one drink and then you got unlimited free play. So I'm like, okay, I will spend $6 on a drink so I can play unlimited video games. And they also had a thing, if they're like, if it's your first time and you show us this picture, you get a free beer. So I got a Moscow Mule and a free beer, just so I could then play Metal Slug 3 all the way through in one sitting for like an hour. Which, if I was doing it normally, would have cost me $13, which was not a very good run, but I'm also haven't played it basically since last time, so I was rusty. Still not too bad. It would have cost me $13 if I were to play it normally, but it only cost me, technically, I think it was like $11 because they had a seating fee. But I saved money by drinking. Big brain move. I saved money by drinking and then playing the game. So, and then the next day I went to a Godzilla museum. I did a lot. I was like very busy. I was pretty much like always out of the hotel unless it was nighttime, and I was just like, I am done for the day, because I was always looking to do something. But this was like the original model of Godzilla that they're trying to base stuff off of. This was like it, and it's kind of ugly. But this was closer to like a Godzilla actual like museum than the museum that I went to on Awaji Island, because they had a lot more history related stuff. But this was like an art exhibit. So they had like rubble and stuff. There was a lot of stuff you weren't allowed to take pictures of. Like in this room, there was a bunch of stuff. This one was really cool. Just like a big old statue. And like the soldier here was like split down the middle, and he was American on one side, Japanese on the other. And there's like 2 different guns based on that. And there's like descriptions and stuff for all the art. They had a huge like miniature thing set up. Massive like props to the people that were like doing miniature stuff, because it must be like insane work, but the details are crazy. Just like art installation stuff for Godzilla. I saw this guy like a couple times. I don't know what his deal is or what brand he is, but it's something. Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, made out of like metal. Just some art stuff. I don't really like this art style that much. This one was really cool, though. I like this one a lot. These were made out of, like, resin or something. I don't know exactly what it was, but they're, like, super pretty. This one was made out of skateboards. I love the goofy original Godzilla head kind of look. Oh, this was a Godzilla on Monster Island, and the description on the side was like, I took some artistic liberties by not including Baby Godzilla and using the other Mothra design. It's like, man, what do you have against Baby Godzilla? I know he's ugly, but come on. And then just cool Godzilla artwork and stuff like that. This one was called Godzilla and I Love Cats. So it's by some French guy, and he drew some cats. This one was like marble, colored marble, really pretty. And then they had a giant, like, Godzilla, and the lights were changing and stuff all the time, so it was hard to get pictures of. But this one was, like, super, super cool. I mean, everything that I took pictures of was because it was cool, so I got lots of pictures of, like, different stuff. But this was in Roppongi. And then they had a Godzilla menu. I wasn't, like, the prices of the food stuff was surprisingly not that bad for being, like, at a museum and themed. But none of it was looking, like, particularly appetizing to me, so I just skipped out on it. And then they had this big spider thing outside, which was, like, I don't know what it was for. It was cool. Probably just, like, an art installation. And then I went back to Trader Vic's, because I was like, I gotta get happy hour, baby. So, Trader Vic's for happy hour. This dude was just fishing, because I guess you can fish, like anywhere, and it doesn't really matter. So, dude was fishing. And then this is because it was happy hour, everything was like really, really, really cheap. So I'm like, all right, this is where I go ham. I'm like, I got the original Mai Tai, and then I got some beef brisket and ribs. Then I got a zombie, Vic's itch, and you were allowed to keep like the swizzle sticks and stuff. They're really, really cool. And then I got the Tokyo Thai. And then the waitress was working again, and she came over and talked to me, and she gave me a whole bunch of free stuff, which was really, really nice. I didn't really get any pictures of the free stuff, but yeah, she came over and was chatting with me for a little bit. There was like some tech bro business meeting happening at the bar, and they're all speaking English about like robotics and stuff like that. And then some like army dudes came in at some point. Lots of American people, and behind me there was like some Australian people chatting, and it was just about whatever stuff. And they're like, do you have an espresso martini? And it's like not on the menu, and they're like, no, we don't. And they're like, what drinks do you have? And it's like, there's a menu. But yeah, the waitress hooked me up with like a bunch of free stuff, like swizzle sticks and like some old merch and things like that. It was really cool. Just taking pictures of the bathrooms and stuff, because it's got really cool stuff. And then at nighttime, then I was like, I was hungry, because at that point it was like 6. Because yeah, the sun goes down at like 6:30, so it gets dark really fast. So then I went and got curry across the street, because I was hungry and I can never have enough curry. So I got curry with mushrooms in it, and it was dang good. This time I didn't get it super hot. Oh yeah, and then we went to Odaiba. Love me Odaiba. Odaiba was really cool. It's like futuristic. And then we went to the miniature world. Got to go check out cool Ava. And they had just whole bunch of stuff. All just like minifigure related stuff, because it was a little museum art exhibit thing. So they had just a whole bunch of like things set up and like events happening. I'll just skip through the videos because they're not like super exciting, but like the airplane, the spaceship like hooking up, and then actually I guess I can show a little bit. It like flies up into the ceiling if it'll actually play. But the detail was crazy. I took an obscene amount of pictures on this, because this was also like one of our last days. And they had like a collaboration going on with like some hot dog people. I don't know why. But yeah, this was just like the space themed area. So like robots with packages and stuff like that. Like everywhere you look, they had a bunch of like little people, neat space stuff, big robots. And then there was the world tour area, and they had a bunch of like little buttons that you could press and things would happen. So there was a little scavenger hunt as well, where you had to like look for little words and stuff like that. And when you filled it in and showed the person, they gave you a free. We didn't end up redeeming it, but you can get a sausage at Museum Cafe. So we could have got a free sausage for doing the little scavenger hunt thing. But everything was just I loved this kind of stuff. I don't know why miniatures are so interesting to me, but they're like adorable. Tons of little details. And like everything's populated and like busy. But there's this one dude with like his phone that was like filming everything super slowly, so like we had to like go back a little bit and watch like this thing come up so that we weren't like in his way because he was going so slow. But they had, the thing came out and then it shoots a beam. So certain little things were set up for like playing at specific times and whatnot. But they're definitely like, this was something that was super worth checking out. Because I definitely could have spent like way more time in here than we did. Because it was just like, there was just so much cool stuff and everything's moving. I mean, I don't blame the guy that was filming everything because it was like really cool to look at. They got 2 towers. And like sides of buildings and stuff like that. And then they had actual like art exhibits of like people that made models. And some of these were actually for sale. So these were like just by random other little artists that were like selling stuff like that. So they're really cute and like really well made. Like little shaved ice shop. These ones were really cool because the perspective on them makes it look like they're like 2D, but from like an angle, everything is like, it's hard to explain because I don't think it like comes across too well in the picture, but it's really cool. And they're all super pretty because they have depth but are like really flat at the same time. So I don't really know how they did it, but yeah, they have like crazy cool stuff. I don't know which. This is like a one airport. This is Tokyo Station. Other like little baby miniatures. Really pretty expensive stuff, but they're all handcrafted, so it makes sense. And then this was Kansai Airport, so Osaka Airport. They made like a whole diorama for it. This is Kyoto, but it was being fixed, so they had it over here. But if people were working on it, you would have been able to watch them fixing things up. Then this is also Osaka Airport, like a 1-to-1, not size-wise, but super detailed because, yeah, when we were going in, we had to go up this way and across that way. So really pretty. Even included like the little gashapon and like the baggage claim, people being really excited. And then they had Evangelion themed planes. The sausage collaboration thing. I still don't know why, but they have like mascots and stuff for everything, so it's neat. And then like some idol group, anime idol group or something they had a collaboration with as well. Then they had Ava themed stuff. Big Ava head, which was really cool. Oh, let's see. Yeah, this one. It at least like filmed properly when I did horizontal.
Does it go around the back? Oh yeah.
But all the like the little areas with like moving stuff, super cool. Big fan of. Because I just really like seeing the Ava things. And then they had little daytime nighttime cycles going on for this like little section of Tokyo that was supposed to be, Tokyo 3 from Ava. And I managed to get this. Did it? Oh, there we go. So having like all the stuff. Yeah, having all the stuff like pop up out of the ground, just like in the show. Oh, but it keeps freezing for some reason. It's like the built-in like YouTube player is like really weird because it does not want to like buffer very much. But it's like trying. And then all the lights slowly coming on. The like attention to detail. It was so cool. I was having the time of my life. Yeah, but I don't know why for some reason that one just was not wanting to work. Then they had like the mountain bases and stuff like that, and with all like the artillery and the trains. All the different like stuff around Tokyo 3. Like, where is it? The school where Shinji punches Toji. Cause he's like, I beat you up. You gotta hit me now. Shinji on the top of the school with Rei. Toji beating up Shinji. Like the little things like that were really good to see. Oh, in the movie where they're just like going up in because these are escalators, which is interesting. They're not stairs. And then there's, I think, Shinji's mom. A bunch of little stuff, just vehicles and people. Because I think these are all scans of like real people, because you could get a miniature 3D scan of yourself if you wanted. So lots of little things. Even having like the big like cannons coming out of the side of the mountain, like the temple. And then see if this actually works. And then also having the music go with it was so cool. And the mountain opened up with those little turrets and stuff like that. And then they had Unit 1 fighting Satchel. And it, like the day-night cycles were really, really cool because the lights changed and the atmosphere was cool. They had Shinji and Misato hanging out up here with Misato's car. And then just some like individual art stuff. Start with the Unit 1. Big Unit 1. Unimpressed with how big Unit 1 was. Ava stuff. More Ava stuff. Lots of these. There was actually like so much of the statues, but I don't really like the statues as much as like model kits, because I like moving them around and also just like putting them together is the fun part. So I'd much rather that over like a statue. This is from the 4th Ava movie with there's Shinji and Rei. And then this is in the 4th movie where the place takes place with the trains. Cassette tape lunch. Bank robbery. Disco music. There's the figure that I have. And then they had the whole workshop area of people like actually making the miniatures, because I didn't realize they would do it there. And they had a couple like lesson or stuff that you could pay for and build like little dioramas kind of like this. Yeah, for like $50 for 30 to 40 minutes, they'd show you how you can make like these sort of things, which was really cool. Just all so pretty. And even like a little Ava. This was like the Ava collab at the time. They're like these weird sort of like chibi versions of all the angels, which were cute, but I like didn't really care that much about. Back in like the science areas, they had a like America themed spot. I don't think I got any pictures of it, but there was a like a Flatwoods monster and like a big spider and stuff like that. There's the alligators, when you hit the button they turn their lights on, as alligators do. Big space thing, big Unit 1 head, which was like still like 1 of 4 scale, because the Unit 1 is like actually insanely big. Tokyo, big site, massive Tokyo with big saw. But yeah, Odaiba's a really pretty place because it's all like right on the water. It's an artificial island, I believe is what they said. So they built like the island Fuji Television Building had ginger pork bowl, which was like, okay. Came with mayo and miso soup. The Unicorn Gundam at Diver City. All the Kamen Rider boxers. Which is kind of funny that they just have Kamen Rider boxers of like every single Kamen Rider. I was tempted to get the Kamen Rider Ichigo ones, but like they're like about $30 a pair, and I'm like, I don't know how well they'll fit, so I'm not gonna worry about it. And then they actually had the I could see what these ones actually looked like outside of the box. And they were on sale too. A Shin Godzilla statue. Crayon Shin-chan. Look at that little fella. I love that little boy. Physical copy of Lisa for the Switch, which I'd never seen before. And then all of the JoJo books you could ever want. They had everything. Like, they had the George Joestar. They had the Dead Man's Questions. Like, every single, like, JoJo related thing they had here, which was nuts. I'd never seen so much in one place, because they had all of the Steel Ball Run together, just all of the different stuff, and like they had Ava, and they even had like that was like pretty much the only place I saw Doro Hidoro stuff. There's the Fuji Television Building, which is really cool. Wakano no Daiba, hitting the big it was like a big loop-de-loop on the train. It had to like corkscrew away to get around, so you went this way, came around, and went back down that way. There's Chili Beans. There's me in the miniature world. So they're a little baby. Frogs. There was a fugu restaurant like across from our hotel, which I didn't notice until like one of the last days. I did have fugu in the conveyor belt sushi. Didn't really like it that much though. I know it wasn't like good fugu, but I think getting fugu here was like $70. I walked around for like an hour and a half in the morning because I was doing Pikmin missions. So then I got ramen, which like I was always getting ramen. And then we hit up Shibuya. Shibuya, not super exciting, super busy, insanely tourist heavy. So like if I'm skipping a place, I honestly don't mind not going to Shibuya, because it's like, I don't know. There's probably tons and tons of stuff to do, but it's so crowded. And I feel like anything that you could do here, you could probably hit up at like a different location, and it would be way less busy. The pre-order stuff for Steel Ball Run, they had a Keicho, they had a Wekipipo, they had a weird Star Platinum. Broken down D4C was really cool. And then Johnny and Gyro. And then they had the specifically the versions in black, which I don't know what's so special about it, but they were in black. Bruno looks really weird in black, though, I have to say. And then Narancia and Dio. I don't know what version. That's a weird Dio. Oh, it's when he's putting the finger in his head. It's in part 3 at like the end. But yeah, the Funny Valentine and D4C were really, really neat. Then this was just a thing for in Shinjuku. They're like, we have more. And then Godzilla store. This is Godzilla versus Destoroyah, where he's going nuclear. And then this was like just a couple days before. I think this might be open now, but the JoJo World store in Shibuya. So I guess that would be a reason to go check it out. And then Rathalos Longsword and Rathalos Claws coming out of the wall for all you longsword enjoyers. Some guy was mansplaining who Mewtwo was to like a girl, and Star and I were wondering why, and then we turned around and there's like big Mewtwo here. This Pokemon store was obscenely crowded, like it was nuts. But it also had like nothing really new compared to the other place. Iron Fist Alexander, another Dark Souls store. The Nujibe's Samurai Champloo collab store that existed for some reason. All the stuff was really expensive, because it was once again like a collab with a fashion company, so everything was not really worth it. And then they had Ugly Iggy on top of a condom machine for some reason, but ugly dog. And then we went to Fangamer, because they actually have a storefront for Fangamer in Japan. So it's really cool seeing Fangamer merch physical and not having it like shipped to you. And then a bunch of artists and stuff for the games that Fangamer does stuff for came and visited and had done stuff at some point. So we got Temmie, people for like One Shot, There's Ralsei. I love Toby Fox's little thing where he just a really, really, really small thing, and it just is TF. Deltarune, 4 days. And then, yeah, lots of little art and stuff. They had Fangamer, like, Taiyaki, but I heard it wasn't, like, super great, so I wasn't super keen to, like, trying it there. I never ended up actually getting any Taiyaki, but it's okay. Then we got Indian food, because I'm like, you know what I want to do in Japan? I want to get authentic Indian food. And my Mango Lassie had the Joestar sign for some reason. But, like, the naan bread that we had was, like, as big as my forearm. And I ate it. And the dude's like, do you want some more? It's unlimited naan. And it's like, I can't imagine how, I don't even know how you could eat more. It was so much naan. And then Star had the cheese naan, which was, like, so good. And I had the chana masala. It was, man, the food here was great. It was so good. And the little yogurt, I was so full. And then this was our second last day. I went to a place called Village Shimakawazawa Village Vanguard, just for like secondhand stuff. They had skateboards, and the only other place I saw Dorohedoro stuff was like right here. Only like a couple days prior, they had a pop-up shop for Mother 2, which I kind of am sad I missed out on, but I looked online and saw stuff they were selling, and it wasn't anything super exciting. But it would have been really cool to see a like Earthbound pop-up shop, which would have been really cool. But yeah, lots of Dorohedoro stuff. I think this is written by Q Hayashida. They only had like t-shirts and hoodies. If they had sweatshirts with the like Kotatsu Gyoza or something on it, I'm a sweatshirt fiend. Less so for like graphic tees, but if they're on sweatshirts, I feel like it's a bit cooler. But there was at least like some Earthbound merch. Like they had like Iwata stuff. This big box here was every single piece of text and dialogue in Mother 2 in a book, which is really neat. And then some like Legend of Zelda stuff, like the I don't know what this Treasure for Life. I don't know what the Breath of the Wild thing is, but they did have like the Legend of Zelda mangas and whatnot. So, and then just checking out Sunshine City because I wanted to do some last minute shopping. I bought Labubus are apparently huge. People love Labubu. I do not care for Labubu. And then just like various anime or manga artists for not Shonen Jump. It's like the counterpart to Shonen Jump. I can't remember what the name of it was, but this was in like there's Angel Beat, there's like Kamen Rider. A bunch of this stuff is probably familiar, but I don't exactly know. They had some Berserk stuff too, and like Junji Ito. And then we went to Kamakura, which was like a ramen franchise, to get ramen. You can see how massive the bowl was, and I was regretting. I was super hungry. I hadn't eaten anything at all that day, and we'd been walking around for a while. I had also gotten a side order of gyoza and fried rice, and I was like, this might be a horrible mistake. But it wasn't. And I ate it all, and it was great. Absolutely banging. And then we went back to the JoJo bar. And, like, specifically on this one, when we walked in, it was the episode where Caesar dies. And I'm like, oh, spoilers. And then that episode finished off, and it was like, whatever. And then the bar owner, like, goes on a Netflix and changes the episode to, like, the, Polnareff and Iggy versus Vanilla Ice. So I'm like, oh, he's just choosing episodes where characters die. So that was funny. We sat in the same spot again. And I actually ordered some of the slightly more expensive drinks because they're like the novelty ones. So this was Sex Pistols, and it was 6 shots for $13. These weren't like full strength like liquors. It was like different like fruity kind of ones, and they were like slightly smaller glasses. But the one at the back here was just a full shot of tequila. So like $13 for all this as like a themed thing is like really neat. And it was worth it for just the novelty. And then the owner, for some reason, only came over to us, not any of the other people that were like English speaking and stuff, and gave us like props so we could take pictures with. So there's the Jotaro hat and the stone mask. I don't know why it was specifically us, but he was really nice. This was the sheer heart attack. I don't know what the white goop on the top was, but it was something. And then this was the something something baby. It was in part 3. I don't know if Jotaro says it or not, but it was really funky. Star got Chocolate Disco in the back there, and they also had the Jolene Cujo and the Johnny Joestar. But yeah, the Chocolate Disco, baby, that was cool. So yeah, themed drinks for all the characters, basically up into part 8. Nothing for JoJolian, and not for the last little bit. But it was like, I'm trying to remember what it tasted like, because Star had it, and I had a little sip of it, but I can't totally remember, but it was like chocolatey. It was sort of like I don't know what kind of booze was in it, because it wasn't like strong, but it was like chocolatey, and it was pretty good. It was super interesting. And then they had the Bruno Bucciarati toilet, just drawn on with Sharpie, and then just like bathroom stuff. I sincerely wish you happiness. Dio, I think something about washing your hands. Some just fan art people have drawn and put on the wall. I love the little Harvest and Pearl Jam were really, really cute. Pulpo, just bathroom stuff. And then I had a highball and instant noodles for some more food because I was hungry. Because the only other thing we ate that day was that bowl of ramen, and this was at like 9 p.m. or like 10. And then the next day we're taking a Shinkansen because we realized a couple days into the trip that we booked our flight. We were heading back home out of Osaka, but at this point we were in Tokyo. We're like, oh yeah, we maybe should have changed the destination on the way back. So we took the Shinkansen from Tokyo to Osaka, and it was like a 2.5 hour. Wasn't bad in the slightest. 2.5 hour Shinkansen that just, you got free Wi-Fi. You had tons of legroom. You could recline your seats. It was great. Way better than flying. So it was like $100, but it was well worth it. And then I had Korean food because I needed to get rid of my last 2,000 yen because I didn't want to deal with the currency exchange or anything like that. So my last 2,000 yen was on this chili Korean udon, and it wasn't very good, but I got rid of all my change. So, and then back home I took some pictures of just some stuff that I bought. So like the Jojo Veller, this is the big box that it came in from the store, so it wasn't just like the white box of stuff, it was in this as well. These are the pictures of all the little gashas that I got. Ended up with Mr. Saturn, which was great. Bunch of little fellas. Did some Undertale gasha because those were brand new. So Star got Sans, and then I got Annoying Dog and Temmie, and the way they're on the keychains makes it look like they're being like dragged. So like the back of like Temmie's shirt is getting like pulled up, and the little Asuka one is actually like super cute. The big Sachiel statue that I have, so you can see like how tall it would be from. Oh no, you can't even see it, but like he's big and he's like made out of like weird textured material, but he's awesome. Put together this little Goff, I think that's his name, Goff, I don't know. Put him together because he was like $15 because I wanted to get a model kit that was like cheap. So like a $15 little model kit of the dude with the whip with the gun fingers. And he was really fun to put together. Just did that this afternoon. And then here are all the JoJo figures that I got. So I got Josuke, Soft and Wet, Kira with his sandwich bag. I don't really bother trying to put them into the poses just because it's kind of annoying and you have to like swap the hands and stuff out. The other Kira figure that I got, I really liked this one. I was super happy I managed to get purple suit Kira and white suit Kira. And there's a little sheer heart attack. It's really dusty in here. And then the little Emporio and Whole Horse. And then there's a better picture with the dude with the whip hanging out with the Gundam and the mass production Ava that I got from last time. And then other model kit that I got on one of the first days was, I don't think I got a picture of the box and they fell over. It's the little Flopter from Castle in the Sky. Didn't realize it wasn't painted, so it's really, really ugly. And to put the stickers for the faces on, their water transfer, I'm like, I'm just not gonna do that. But I put it together. It was really cool. It was like $10, so I'm not mad about that because I was like, this is a really cool niche like model kit thing. So, and then I got a little baby Kamina. Not very much Gurren Lagann stuff there. More Simone and Yoko than anything else. But I at least got a Kamina little adorable guy on for like $18 on one of the first days. And then Dorohedoro art book. These art books are like fancy because they're on like glossy paper and some of them are like textured. It's really neat. JoJo 6251 with the JoJo lands. And then there's the JoJo Veller stuff as well. But like, apparently that's it. That is my Japan trip. That's like 1,200 pictures I just went through all at once. Which, a little bit less to say, I think, compared to when I did the Japan thing last time. But that's because I had so much, like, first time in Japan. Here's all the cool stuff. And I didn't take pictures of all, like, my different, like, drinks and snacks and stuff. But I got some good meal pics. So, there's that. It was a really, really fun trip. And I'm really happy I got to go. I will definitely go back again sometime, for sure. Because I'd love to go back. And I feel like there's still so much that I want to check out. But I definitely know now that it's been the second time. Stuff that I don't really need to worry about. Like, I'd probably honestly skip, like, Kyoto if I'm not visiting, like, all the shrines and temples and stuff. Because, like, Kyoto was really nice. But at the same time, I'm like, we did so much then on the school trip that there wasn't as much to do there. Definitely would stay in Osaka again, especially by Dotonbori, because just like walking around there, I could do so much stuff, and like at nighttime and like all the snacks and whatnot, I was significantly more enjoyable with that kind of stuff. Definitely stay in Tokyo. There's a lot of stuff that I would have liked to have done. Like, the Nintendo Museum was fully booked up, so we couldn't even do reservations for that. If I could see, like, the Ghibli Museum, that would have been cool, but not super realistic. What else is there? I wanted to check out the Asahi, brewery. That was all booked up for reservations, so couldn't do that. Like, lots of things that maybe required some reservations that, like, would have been really nice, but it is what it is, and next time I'd just be a little bit more on the ball for it, but that's okay. I check out Miyajima Island again. I wouldn't buy the JR pass, but, like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I am, like, I know for next time. But I still had a blast. Nothing was, like, stressful in the slightest. It does give me that, like, itch to, like, travel a little bit more, because I'm like, traveling's really fun. I do like traveling a lot, so, you know. But I got to do everything that, like, I wanted to do this time, which was really nice, because last time most of it was school, and then, like, afterwards it's like, oh man, pretty exhausted because it's been so much, like, school stuff. I'm just, like, now I'm just quickly looking through all the photos that I took, like, last time to see if there's anything that I, like, missed or, like, that were cool, but not really. But yeah, it was banging. It was good. 10 out of 10 would recommend going to Japan if you have the opportunity to. Super worth it. And the most expensive part was getting there, and like hotels weren't even that badly priced, and like food and everything is way cheaper, so would recommend if you ever had the option. But yeah, that's gonna be it for now. I do intend to stream more. I know I've said that a lot, but there's games that I want to be playing, or not so much like games that I want to be playing, it's like stuff that I want to do. So but yeah, that's gonna be it. So I'll be back soon. So I hope you all have a lovely evening. Yeah, I'll be back sometime soon-ish. Next week's a little bit busy, so I'll see if I can fit in some stuff. But yeah, I'm going back to gym, getting in my routine. So maybe I can make streaming part of my routine. It would be a smart thing to do. So have a great rest of your night. I'll see you guys later.